Gone. Touchdown, Aztecs.
A wild Saturday of college football. Sunday's NFL.
A.J. big hole. Turns it on, accelerating. You can kiss him goodbye.
In the shotgun, Cousins to pass to the end zone. Up in the air and intercepted! Intercepted in the end zone!
And the final homestand at Petco Park.
High drive, deep right center field. It is back, and it is gone.
Enough talking. Let's get the week started. Now, here are the guys.
Yeah. Woo! Happy Monday to those who celebrate. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch with you this morning. And oh my goodness, do we have a lot to cover. 3 hours isn't enough. We may just cancel all national and local programming and take you all the way to 6 p.m. That was one of the craziest football weekends we've seen. History made in a lot of different ways. There's a wake-up call in Colorado for two teams. There were some bad situational decisions made in the NFL. I don't even know where to get started, so I'll just ask you guys, what caught your eye the most? Travis, you're up first.
Well,
what was the thing that really, really caught your eye?
Well, because I'm a Bronco fan, and that was the first game there. It was a morning game, right? Or maybe I'm hallucinating. Yeah, it was. That was rough. However, I don't believe that's all Russell Wilson's fault. I mean, that Denver team is bad. In fact, they're giving the Cardinals a run for their money here. Who's getting the top round pick in the draft, because it's not good at all.
Cardinals won, as a matter of fact, yesterday.
They beat the Cowboys.
Yeah, which is
unbelievable.
shocker.
We're going to get to both of those. Yeah. Anything like in particular stand out to you?
Yeah, it did. It was that the Chargers tried so hard to lose that football game, and so did the Vikings. Both of those teams were just going back and forth with super questionable decisions down the stretch, and they were both trying to lose it. It seemed like Brandon Staley successfully lost, but then the Vikings successfully lost even harder. And the Vikings end up winning, or the Chargers end up winning 28-24.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that thing first. I mean, just
was that not a puke fest?
Fletch, that was one of the worst, and I mean worst sequences of events to finish a game, and we will get to that. The thing that stood out to me the most this weekend is we've got a good crew. And I'm talking about specifically and very personally right here on the show. We went out to Barbusa on Saturday night, and it was a great spread, a great dinner. Michael Busalaki, who came in studio. This was on our Bar Car Friday, brought to you by Keg and Bottle, who provided us with the Busa espresso martinis.
So good.
They were delicious. So we were like, hey, yeah, we'll come to the restaurant. We'll try it out. One of the best Italian meals I've ever had in my life. I think that was unreal.
It wasn't just a meal. I mean, just being there, the atmosphere, the experience, just fantastic. It feels like you are walking into someone's home. Literally open arms, come on inside, sit down, and from start to finish, absolutely magnificent.
Yeah, guys, Saturday was really an extension of our Friday show. Because Saturday we went out to dinner at the place that we were talking about on Friday, and then Saturday night after dinner, we went and saw Michael Rappaport, who I thought was freaking hilarious.
Yeah, it was a great lineup. The opener, Chris, was good. Espinosa, I think, and then OP, the middle act was good.
OP killed me.
Dude, he was the Android iPhone thing. If you've never seen this guy, look him up. Very funny stuff. But Michael Rappaport, like you said, was just, he crushed it. He absolutely crushed it. When he walked out, he was talking about his sons.
Yeah.
My God. I'm just like,
what I loved about his performance was never once did it feel like a performance.
No, he was just talking.
He was just ranting.
Yeah. And it went like he didn't take a breath. No. He just went and went and went. He's fantastic. And the venue, American Comedy Company, that place is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic time. So that's what stood out to me the most this weekend. But Ben, you mentioned it. And Fletch, I consider you like one of the most dialed in football watchers I've ever met, because I'm pretty sure, you're at home, you got the Kendall, no kids running around. So you are locked in for basically 8.5 hours straight of football on Sundays. Let's spin the wheel. Do you want to start? Which bad ending to a football game do you want to start with? Do you want to start with the Chargers Vikings, or do you want to talk about what happened on Sunday Night Football? It's up to you, Fletch.
They were both pretty terrible, but Chargers Vikings I think has the most meat on the bone because of what was at stake for both of those teams.
Yeah.
Like you talk about an 0-3 record and what that means historically. I think it's 2.4% chance to make the postseason after starting 0-3. You wouldn't have guessed it by looking at those two teams.
No,
because they were both playing to lose. Like the Brandon Staley, the fourth down call in the fourth quarter with what, like a minute 50 left on the clock? I think that's what it was. And yes, if you get it, you ice the game. It's over. I understand that. But where you were on the field, it didn't make as much sense to me. And he's kind of gotten that reputation as a fourth down goer as a coach. And the nerd analytics would tell you to do so. But at that point, when you don't have your back or your running back, Austin Eckler, who is great in those situations, you're not going to trust Justin Herbert to put the ball in the air, then what the hell are you going to do? Well, I don't know, run it up the gut and get stuffed. That's what they did. And then the Vikings going back the other way just couldn't figure out how to get the ball in the end zone. What was it, a Kirk Cousins interception? Is that what ended it?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And then the
From a tip
penalties,
to a tip or something.
the penalties, my God, the Derwin James late hits. The Chargers have zero discipline on defense late in the games.
Well, Fletch, you mentioned what are you going to do? You can't trust Justin Herbert to throw it. I don't know. You might. He went 40 for 47.
That's what I'm saying. You should trust Justin Herbert to throw it in that situation. Why would you take the ball out of your best player's hands?
Also, I'm not 100% certain on this stat, but didn't the Vikings hold the Chargers to under 40 yards rushing on the game?
I didn't see the rushing stats. 405 yards in the air, though. 3 touchdowns for Herbert.
Keenan Allen had 1 million yards.
Yeah.
I
mean, look, there's no reason with a stat like that this game should be coming down to a final interception in the end zone that, you barely squeak out a win. There are some issues up there in Los Angeles with the Chargers.
Yeah, look at this. So receiving, obviously 454 yards through there. As a team, they rushed for 30. And so you're going to run. So you're going to run the ball.
It doesn't make sense.
You're going to run the ball on 4th and 1. You haven't been able to run the ball all day long. Like you said, Eckler's out. Joshua Kelly's in. He's averaging 1 yard a carry. You're going to run the football. What are we thinking? This is coaching malpractice. Look, when I was in offensive huddles, there were times where you knew it was time to sheathe the sword and punt the football. Now, 4th and 1, every offensive line wants to go for it. But what's the smart thing to do is force the Vikings to screw it up. Kick the football. You're at your own 24-yard line. Kick the football away to the Vikings. Let your defense win the game for you. Brandon Staley's a defensive head coach. He has zero faith in his defense. That's an embarrassment. Okay, then circling back to the Vikings, equally disgusting play.
How many fumbles have they had this year?
They had 3 attempts at the goal line inside the 5-yard line. They don't score. They turn over on downs. That started the Chargers drive that led to the 4th and 1 decision making by Brandon Staley, which was absolutely bonkers. It is indefensible. Even if the analytics say, hey, go for it, understand the game you're playing. And also the play calling was Kellen Moore, he came in to save this offense. You're going to call that run play on 4th and 1? Okay, so turnover on downs. You got Kirk Cousins, who throws a first down and then is cupping his hands against his ears, and he's trying to listen for the next play. I blame the Vikings loss on Kirk Cousins. You need to have a better sense. You have a first down. You run to the football. This is what you do. Look, anybody who's been in an NFL huddle knows exactly what to do in that situation. The quarterback is supposed to be screaming, clock, everybody get the line, clock. You get the ball, boom, and you just throw the ball into the ground. Then it's okay. So what? You have 2nd and 10 or whatever, 2nd and goal, and you have 3 opportunities to score. Rich, it was bonkers.
Rich, with that win for the Chargers, which, that was basically not a loss, is Brandon Staley's seat getting a little hotter right now?
Yes. It's the hottest seat in the league, in my opinion, isn't it?
Yeah, well, look, 1 and 2, right? The victory may have saved his job, although Dean Spanos and the Chargers, they don't like to fire people mid-season. They don't like to spend money on coaches who are not actually coaching for them. And look, this is the interesting thing about the NFL. While players' salaries aren't guaranteed, coaches' salaries are. And so when you sign up a coach for 3 years or 5 years or whatever the term is left on Staley's deal, if you're an organization who doesn't want to pay for a coach who's no longer working for you, you want him to see through his entire tenure. Well, it's decisions like that. Those are the reasons why the Chargers have a quarterback who can throw the sort of stats that Herbert, look, 40 for 47, 405 and 3 touchdowns, like you mentioned earlier, TD. Like, I mean, you have to win a football game, but when you have bad decision making, you lose football games like that. Now they survived this one and they win by the 4 points, and the Vikings fall to 0-3, and we know what that means for the Vikings. It's a 2.5% chance of them making the postseason, but it doesn't mean it wasn't one of the more treacherous, poorly coached situational football games the Chargers had in recent history, and that's saying a lot.
Now, to your point, Rich, the Chargers do still have 2 years on Brandon Staley's deal at about $4 million a year. And to your other point, Cliff Kingsbury is the perfect example, because through this season, he's still making $6 million a year with the Arizona Cardinals.
Yep.
And he has not been their coach for 2 years now.
Yep.
So, like, that's kind of what you're looking at with the Chargers. And when you talk about Dean Spanos, you talk about one of the more historically cheap owners in football, which is tough to say when he just signed Justin Herbert to that deal. But you pay your quarterback when you need to pay your quarterback. But with coaches and something that's a little more controllable like that, maybe he puts more emphasis on, Brandon, just figure it out.
Well, you're also forgetting, Fletch, that the reason why you pay your quarterback is because, A, you have to spend the money because you have to spend a certain amount of the salary cap. I think it's up to 90% now of the salary cap in the NFL. And also, B, Justin Herbert is the only reason why fans are showing up at SoFi at all for the Chargers. He is the only thing keeping that team relevant. You got to keep him around. You just absolutely have to.
Yeah, you're right, Rich. I'm just looking up, numbers like that. A quarterback putting up numbers like that, and yet it's still so close. You've got some issues to work out. I mean, you have one guy who's dragging you through the mud trying to get this victory. And to me, they were so close to losing this game, and a completely wasted performance by Justin Herbert.
And speaking of almost losing a game, how about the Steelers allowing the look, the Steelers were in command the whole time, but the Raiders had a chance at the end. I couldn't believe it when I was looking up at the screen. I'm like, oh, wow. I said, this is a 1-score game, and the Raiders are driving around right now. So the Raiders get down to the Steelers' 8-yard line. They are facing a 4th and 4. There is something like, what was it? There was enough time left. I'd have to go back and look at the play-by-play.
Time wasn't an issue for them at that point. Like, they were able to take their time and go down the field. And credit to Jimmy Garoppolo, they went down the field.
Yeah, they absolutely did. But the field goal was kicked at, let me look at it. Oh, yeah, 2:13 left on the clock.
Why do you not go for it on 4th down there?
You're at the Steelers' 8-yard line.
You're down by 8.
You're down by 8 points. You kick the field goal. You still need a touchdown.
That was extremely questionable to Josh McDaniels for me because of what you just said. You need the touchdown no matter what. Right? Like,
I don't get it.
So if you go for it there and you don't get the touchdown, well, you're in the exact same situation if you would have kicked the field goal.
Well, think of it from this situation. Well, kind of. I mean, obviously you can go ahead by 2, or I guess if you go for the 2 points, you're ahead by 3. It's just such a bizarre, stupid decision by Josh McDaniels. I honestly think, and I didn't listen to him in post game because I ended up doing the NBC show right after Sunday Night Football ended. But I'm curious if he like forgot how many points were on the board. Like I honestly, it's the only thing. Like, did he think they were only leading by 6? It was bizarre.
The only logic, Rich, would be that he thought that their defense had done enough all night to stop Kenny Pickett, that they would get the 3 and out right away, and then you go for the win.
But you still have to get a touchdown.
Right, but then you're going for the win instead of the tie.
Okay, Fletch, I get it. But still, it's indefensible because, Travis, if you trust your defense, then obviously you're very happy to give the Steelers the ball back at their own 8-yard line.
Right.
Like, because then there's only a certain number of things the Steelers can even do from their own 8-yard line. It makes them a little bit more one-dimensional because they're in the shadow of their own goalposts.
Well, and 3 points just doesn't matter. You need a touchdown. So it was bonkers to me. I mean, absolutely bonkers. Also, Jimmy G, meh.
Yeah.
Meh.
Yeah, Jimmy.
He's fine. I mean, I guess.
I don't know why I still feel like I have to defend him. I really don't.
No,
I mean,
you don't.
he's a handsome man out there on the field, Fletch.
He's
He's
handsome,
gorgeous.
and he used to wear a 49ers jersey, but I actually saw a lot I really liked from Jimmy last night. Now, he looked like he was going to snap his entire leg in half at one point. I was like, oh, well, Raiders have fun, because I went through that a few times. I thought he was done for the year. But I thought that he did some things, especially in the fourth quarter, that were pretty nice, getting them down the field in crunch time.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he had moments, Fletch. I thought there were some flashes of a goodness. I don't know if I want to say greatness, but I just feel like, man, there's a lot of work to get Jimmy G for meh. I mean, it just doesn't blow me away.
I see a bunch of guys playing with their technique and fundamentals.
Everything we said we're not going to do, we've done. We're playing down to 11. No.
It's halftime. All right, Rich, what do you got for us?
Yeah, warmer up, boys, because I want to give a couple of updates here. 34-31 loss for the Aztecs at the hands of the Boise State Broncos. Sticking around in college football for a moment, left over from the weekend, Colorado got absolutely boat raced. So this was one of the highest anticipated games. We had six ranked on-ranked games in college football this weekend. This one was barely watchable. The Oregon Ducks beat the Colorado Buffaloes 42-6. Head coach of the Ducks, Dan Lanning, said that we're in it for wins, not clicks. Deion Sanders had a lot to say after the game. We'll play that for you later on.
Do you know plus 21 for Colorado was the most heavily bet handle of the weekend?
Yes, I definitely do. And a lot of people got absolutely mopped up by the house. That's the reason why they were able to air condition Las Vegas.
I think it was 21-0 about 6 minutes in.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Bad state for the state of Colorado, though. 112 points scored against the entire state between the Buffaloes and the Denver Broncos, who lost to the Miami Dolphins. And we'll start there here, guys. So the Dolphins hang 70 points on the Broncos. The Dolphins are the first team in NFL history to record 5 passing touchdowns, 5 rushing touchdowns in the same game. And the second team in history to record more than 700 yards of offense since the Rams did so in 1951.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
There's a guy named Devon A-Chain in the NFL. Nobody was familiar with him before. Everybody's familiar with him now because he went off on 22 touches. He had 233 total yards, 4 touchdowns. Average 10.6 yards per touch.
And he's like 5'3".
And Mostert, he had an amazing game out of the backfield for the Dolphins. All right, can the Dolphins be stopped? Let's start on the side of the Miami Dolphins. Fletch, you go first. Is there any offense that can outduel the Dolphins right now?
Probably not. And I say that knowing damn well what offenses are in this league, what offenses are humming right now, and the Dolphins are the most humming. Like, the speed they move at is just different. And the speed with everybody on that field, like you talk about A-Chain and Mostert, both of those are 4.3 40 guys. Oh, let's look to the outside. Tyreek Hill, who got loose in the first quarter, 4.3 40 guy. Oh, Jalen Waddle, who missed the game. They were without their second best wide receiver in this game and hung 70. Also 4.3 guy.
Travis. Travis. Okay. So lifelong Denver Bronco fan.
Yep.
And you know, when Sean Payton got the gig, very similar to how when Russell Wilson got the gig before last season, you know, there's a feeling of like, okay, there's an adult in the room in Denver now. Like, things are going to be better. Well, last season, Russell, he didn't cook. And so far this season, Sean Payton isn't the soothing balm to put out the heat rash that was last season. So how you feeling, bud?
Yeah, it's not good. It is not good. And it's not comforting at all. Russell Wilson, I know I said this a little bit earlier. I don't think Russell Wilson is the entire problem there. Russell Wilson is okay. He had some good plays. However, Russell Wilson seems to only play well in the first half. And then if the game was just half the length, it would be a lot better showing for him. But man, oh man, the amount of turnovers the Broncos have, the amount that they give up. I mean, I know that they're missing Justin Simmons out there, but gosh, the defense is horrible.
Oh, you could not put this on the Broncos offense.
Yeah, no.
They put up 20. Which in the NFL, 20 is not good enough, but it's good enough.
Yeah. But remember, they also put up some points after the Dolphins were like, who cares? So some of that is.
The defense gave up 70.
Oh, gosh, I know.
70.
By the way, Fletch, if I'm the Miami Dolphins, I'm kicking that field goal and taking the record. Why
Yeah.
I would not be nice and just hand it over.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there is a little bit of that to me too. Like I would have preferred them stood alone as the most points ever scored, but that's just me. Look, it's the NFL. Like whose feelings are you saving? You already beat them by 50. Beat them by 53 instead.
Right. By the way, your second and third stringers put up 24 points. They alone beat the Broncos.
Mike White came in the game and he had more fantasy points. Mike White, okay, backup quarterback for the Dolphins. Then I think it was 6 starters. And then there were 2 other guys who came in, like Jameis Winston went in when Carr went down with an injury. There was one other, but he had more fantasy points as a backup than 6 of the starters in the NFL this weekend.
By the way, 6 of those points for Denver was off of a return kick.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, so even with 70 points giving up in fantasy, the Broncos defense still got 10 points.
Fletch, what is the Tua stat? Again, you said it before the show. What is this now?
No, this is bonkers, and this is new. I was saving it for air.
Okay.
This Tua stat. So in 2022, last season, the Dolphins started off 3-0. Tua went for 8 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 72 out of 101 passing. In 2023, through 3 games, the Dolphins are 3-0. Tua's gone for 8 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 72 of 101 passing. They are identical statistics from 22 to 23.
Unreal. Wow. Tua special, man.
Yeah, I mean, whatever he did in the offseason to shore things up, I hope it sticks because it's fun to watch. And no, I do not think there is any offense that could keep up with this or that could match this.
Rich, Trav, I read that stat to ask you guys, are the Dolphins doomed for the same thing as last year, where it's this crazy hot start where Mike McDaniel's offense is just looking faster than everybody, but then eventually injuries catch up like they do with every team. And we already saw it with the Dolphins. Jalen Waddle misses this game.
It comes down to this health. Yeah. I mean, like you said, Waddle gets hurt. You don't want to lose any other skill position guys. You certainly can't lose Tua. There's no question about it. You got to keep this guy on the field. Look, there's a lot of players who during the course of their career, they spend a lot more time with their feet on the carpet of the training room instead of their cleats on the field of their stadium. And when that happens, disaster, especially if it's a quarterback. And speaking of feet and cleats, the Good Feet store has you covered, right? Arch supports with numerous benefits from pain relief to better balance, better performance, better injury prevention, and even better recovery. So I wear these every day. Used to struggle with a ton of back pain. Woke up in the morning just feeling awful, and that's really subsided. I was starting to get real bad hip pain on the right side. I'm like, what is going on in here? That's virtually melted away. And ankle and foot pain, you get it. I was a little bit of a mess after the NFL career. So if you want to go in for your personalized free fitting test walk, people get to try before you buy. Good Feet store, they have these arch supports that are precision fit to your personal needs, your lifestyle, your footwear. They feel good. They work. They have 30 years of experience in this space. They have 200 plus locations around the U.S. and overseas. So get to the Good Feet store today or just check out goodfeet.com. Okay, it's time to shake it off. All right? No bad blood here, right? Okay? We're going to be fearless in our next segment here because trailer forever. We'll tell you what we're talking about coming up next.
Travis Kelce sings, "Can't you see you belong with me?" Next.
This update is presented by the County of San Diego HHSA. We'll begin here in the NFL. The Miami Dolphins were chasing history yesterday, becoming the fourth team to score 70 points in a game and the first team since 1966. The Dolphins win 70-20 over the Broncos. Chiefs win big over the Bears 41-10. Cowboys get upset by the Cardinals 28-16. Chargers avoid that 0-3 pit. They beat the Vikings 28-24. And on Sunday Night Football, Steelers take down the Raiders 23-18. Doubleheader coming up tonight. Eagles, Bucks at 4:15. Then Rams and Bengals at 5:15. You'll hear Rams Bengals right here on San Diego Sports 760. Sticking in the NFL, few teams have fallen into that dreaded 0-3 pit so far this season. Broncos, Bears, Panthers. And in baseball, Padres win their final homestand of the year, 2-1 over the Cards. But it's just about over for those Padres. They got 6 games left, 5 games out of the final wild card spot. Flu season, which means it's time to get your flu vaccine. Flu vaccine is the best way to protect yourself and make sure you don't miss out on fun with your loved ones. Visit SanDiegoCounty.gov/flu to find a location near you and schedule an appointment to stay safe against the flu.
How long is the intro?
All those are up to date.
I'm waiting for it.
It says a pair of tickets.
There it is. Taylor Swift there. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch here, San Diego Sports 760. And you want to make sure you have the free iHeartRadio app downloaded to whatever device you own. That way you can play out this little scenario. You're on your way to work. You're listening to us on the free iHeartRadio app. You hop out of your car. Just grab your phone. Take us with you. Put us right in your pocket. Walk you into work. You can listen to us all day long. And Taylor Swift in the background.
Yeah, you absolutely could. I'm becoming more of a Swiftie, and I realized maybe I always was. The weird thing about Taylor Swift is she makes so many songs and so many hits, and you hear them so often, whether they're on commercials or promos for things, or you listen to the radio at all, even ambient noise in elevators, and you're listening to a Taylor Swift song most likely. Well, Taylor Swift, while she's everywhere in terms of audio, she's also all over the television screen now, because Trailer Forever.
Woo!
Taylor
Thank
Swift
you.
and Travis Kelce are officially an item.
Yeah. They haven't said this.
No.
But I mean, it's unofficially official.
Rich, Trev, have you guys seen all the pictures from after the game last night?
Yeah.
It wasn't just like she was in the box with his mom. It wasn't just they walked out of the stadium together. They were in his convertible, cool-looking car driving somewhere into the sunset.
Yeah.
I saw an update on TikTok.
I'll
So
bet you they made out.
you think they make out, bro? That's
They didn't even
crazy.
hold hands walking out of the locker room.
It looked like they wanted to, though.
No, it did. It did. It looked like it was a very awkward high school walk down the hallway.
I tell you what, I like this story a lot. I also hate it a lot. I hate the fact that it gives me the same ick that when you had friends who should date in middle school but they weren't going to, and it was like, you know, I mean, it just sort of all of a sudden feels like we're all fawning over this relationship and it's making me uncomfortable. Like there's a part of me that's like very much invested, like, well, I want them to be together.
Just make a baby already.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They're not even holding hands.
And by the
Do
way,
you know what it takes to make a baby?
congratulations to the Fletchers, because Mama Kendall and Ben, they have a little fur baby. And is it true? Are all the rumors confirmed? Is Kendall with child?
No.
No? Okay.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Are you pregnant?
Well,
Maybe.
Okay. Well, I'm just asking. I want to cover all the bases because you guys, after sitting down at dinner on Saturday, you would make excellent parents. I think that Annie said, blown away. Kendall is a perfect elementary school teacher, by the way.
She's pretty good.
Her disposition is phenomenal. So it's great that you guys have a kid on the way.
We don't.
It is.
Oh,
Can I tell you guys my favorite part about this Travis Kelce Taylor Swift thing?
yeah.
Less spotlight for Brittany Mahomes.
Oh,
We haven't even talked about her. I mean, she has not been in the spotlight whatsoever.
Because there's a new blondie up in the box at Chiefs games.
Ruh-roh.
And it's Taylor Swift, and she's right next to Mama Kelsey.
Which I thought was interesting that there was so much talk, Fletch, about how they weren't dating. They were just friends. She thinks all the DMs are cute and he's a really charming guy. And then all of a sudden she's at the game in full Chiefs gear.
Trav, if we're doing the full breakdown, if we're like
Okay.
going to go deep into this, which are,
Yes.
are we here?
We're
here.
here. Let's go. deep.
You're not sitting next to someone's mom
No.
if you think the DMs are cute. If
Yeah.
you think, oh, well, yeah, we've texted a couple times. You're sitting next to the mom if the guy wants you to sit next to the mom and wants you to like get to know his family.
I'm curious if Brittany and Brittany Mahomes and Taylor Swift are going to have bad blood.
Oh, they might have bad blood.
I'm just
You know
saying.
what? And I do believe they are on the far end of each spectrum politically.
Okay.
Yeah, there could be some bad blood.
Is Brittany?
Brittany is very far right.
Oh.
I think. Am I wrong on that?
And Swifty is all the way to the
maybe
left.
I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
Here, the way I look at it is Travis Kelce, with all these distractions circulating throughout this game, the pregame. I mean, he's answering questions all week long about Taylor Swift instead of the Chicago Bears. He goes out there and has 69 yards receiving, and he scores the touchdown. So that early season knee injury, I mean, he just shook it off.
I hate you so much. Rich, I do think that people are not thrilled with your name, though.
Yeah,
I thought Trailer was great. I'm Trailer forever.
Hashtag trailer.
Hashtag, baby.
Yeah.
People
That's great.
People like Tavis,
Tavis?
which is lame as hell.
No.
Lame as hell.
It's not even punny. Trailer is so punny. It's not even creative. It was just very easy. You took the first couple of letters from each of their names.
Tavis.
That's
awful.
what people want.
No.
Not me. I'm not
us.
people.
Not
because
us.
I was like, what is this coming from? Because of the vis of Travis.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's lame.
But
Yeah.
Trailer is great because not only is it there are two names put together, but it's also like who's dragging who, you know, because it's Taylor's celebrity is probably bigger than Travis's.
I see. Yeah.
Taylor Swift is considerably bigger than Travis Kelce.
Until you get to like our world, which is the sports football
Oh,
viewer.
no,
world.
But check it out. We would know Taylor Swift in our world. And then other worlds, people wouldn't know Travis Kelce.
That's a good point.
That
Yeah.
is a really she is world renowned.
And I mean, and also from like ages 0 to 100, that people know who Taylor Swift is.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Did you see Travis Kelce's post-game outfit as he walked out? Looked like he was going to go try out for NSYNC.
Was that the blue and white?
The boy band jumpsuit,
Yeah,
Travis.
it was like paint splattered all
Clearly,
over it.
I have dove further into this than either of you.
Yeah.
That outfit is inspired by her 1979 album.
Holy cow.
Wait,
Okay.
1989.
Can we just talk football for 1
1979
second?
Smashing
Just
Pumpkins.
for 1 second. So early in the game, it's a 3rd and 6. Chiefs obviously dial up number 87. Bears are in zone defense.
And then the camera pans to Taylor Swift.
Well, hang on.
Whoa, not yet.
And then Travis Kelce finds a blank space in the zone coverage, and they convert for the first down.
You're good at this.
You
are good at this.
I'm sick.
Yeah.
I'm sick of myself already. I'm really sorry to everybody, but this is what's going to happen for a long time.
Listen, I feel like they really had to make sure that Travis Kelce got a touchdown so they could get that camera up there to her losing her mind in the press box.
Mahomes said it. He said he felt pressure. He was post-game interview. He said he felt pressure to make sure that Travis Kelce got a football thrown to him in the end zone. Like he was aiming for him because Taylor Swift was in the booth with his mom. All I have to say is that the Chiefs' low red zone offense in general is fearless.
Well, I mean, not in my wildest dreams did I see this.
You know what? I don't want either of you guys to shut up. I just want you to speak now.
All I'm saying. Oh, you did.
You did it.
I did it. With the breakup in the offseason, I mean, it's just going to lead to a cruel summer for the Chiefs.
Is that the latest single from Taylor Swift?
I think
very nicely done.
I knew this was going to be trouble coming in today.
Oh, before we walked in.
We have like 2 minutes here.
Yeah.
Can we crap all over the Cowboys for a second?
Oh, right. We haven't gotten to this yet.
Yeah, we definitely want to do that.
Cowboys lost to the Cardinals. Up is down. The world is spinning the opposite direction. Cats and dogs are living together. Okay, so quick reactions when you turn on that game, because I know nobody was watching it from start to finish, but when you saw what was going on in the box score and you're like, oh, I got to flip over to the Arizona Cardinals curb stomping the Cowboys. Fletch, what was your reaction?
My reaction is either the Cowboys are extremely overrated, which we hypothesized last week, or the Cowboys were totally looking past this game and thinking they were going to come in and walk all over the Arizona Cardinals. And then my secondary reaction, Josh Dobbs got some game.
Yeah, no doubt, Fletch. And actually, I think there's a little of both in that. But I think if the Cowboys went into this game thinking they were going to walk all over the Cardinals, that does prove they're probably a little overrated. Yeah. You're in the wrong headspace. Yeah. And look, I mean, hats off to the Cardinals. I am completely shocked by this. I was just telling Ben in the hallway, man, Caleb Williams has to be looking at Denver right now going, oh God, please, Arizona, please.
They are an absolute mess in Denver. No, the Cardinals, this was my reaction, Travis, was I look at it through the lens of a former football player, like this idea that every single team is so dangerous. And this might be the brainwashing that Bill Belichick did to me from my rookie season through my 3rd year in the league, because he would make like the Detroit Lions, who were at the time one of the worst teams around football, and he would make them look like Super Bowl champions. I remember my rookie year, I believe it was, we were playing them on Thanksgiving Day. We had a short week to prepare. We're playing them on the road in Detroit. And the Detroit Lions were so god-awful. Like, I can't even describe how bad of football they were playing that year. But we're playing against them. We have a short week to prepare. He put on highlights after highlights after highlights. We spent an hour in our team meeting room, and it's late in the season, right? We're talking November. We're talking late November. It's a Thanksgiving game. So they have a full season worth of highlights that he's playing one after the other, saying, these guys got game. And I'm just like, Bill, really? But he had everybody convinced we're going to have to show up. So we go out there and absolutely smoke them. And then we're eating the turducken and all that stuff. But it's that feeling of any team can win on any given Sunday.
Perfect example. The Houston Texans beat the Jacksonville Jaguars this year. The Jags are 1-2, by the way.
Right.
Jags, that's a bad loss.
Yeah,
that's horrible.
Because that wasn't a close game, right?
No, they won by 10 or 12.
I think of that.
Yeah, no, that wasn't a close game at
37-17. They won by that 20? That's 20.
Rich, when you were playing, you were able to get the turducken on Thanksgiving?
I grabbed one of the, somebody had already taken a bite out of one of the turkey legs post game. I kid you not. And I ran up to the thing and I was going to grab one for myself. And I got yelled at by a producer and somebody actually put their hands on me. They're like, "No, you can have a turkey leg." I'm like, why the hell not? I'm starving. Yeah, it was there were a lot of moments in my career where I was just I foisted myself onto people and to events and to things where they were like, "So what are you doing here?" I was just like, "Well, I'm just part of the team, just trying to hang out, get a little turkey leg action."
Not much has changed.
No. You guys saw my behavior Saturday night. You get it.
It was great. It was a good time.
We have an announcement. A very special musical performer is going to be playing the Super Bowl, and we'll break that news coming up next. We have a confession to make. That's coming up next. Yeah. Baby making music right here.
Love you.
Whew, good Lord.
I'll tell you what, there is nothing like some sultry slow jams on a Monday morning. You're waking up, you're thinking to yourself, gosh, is it really Monday already? Gotta let it burn though. I mean, you really, really do. Hey, before we get into this a little bit,
It's
if you
gonna burn
haven't
for me to
heard,
say this,
Oh my
but it's
gosh.
coming from the heart.
Wow.
Oh man, I wanted you to keep going. We were
Yeah,
clearing
that's
out.
all I got.
I thought you were making a dance circle. I was like, all right, let Fletch dance.
Let him cook.
Let him cook.
Let's cook.
Um,
There's going to be so many babies made on February 11th,
oh,
2024.
golly. You know, Usher is one of the finest live performers on the planet. He's doing the residency in Vegas. I recently was talking to somebody who went and loved it. Loved it.
All right.
So he's going to be the halftime act for the Super Bowl in Las Vegas after the season here. And I'm pumped. I mean, I am an Usher fan, and like you go through the list of songs, you heard "Let It Burn" there, but OMG, yeah.
Climax.
Yeah. That's he better close with that one.
OMG, I'm going through it right now, dude. There's so many.
What?
You remind me of the game.
Yeah. I think I guess it'll be cool.
I'm out.
I guess it'll be cool. I think my initial reaction was, "What? You got to be kidding me!"
Wait a
Because
second.
the governor of Nevada said, "Hey, I'm trying to get AC/DC here," and I'm like, "Hell yeah, bring AC/DC!" And then I hear Usher's going to be the halftime.
Okay, I'm not sad. I'm not sad that Usher is. I'm a little sad that AC/DC is, and so I'm a little conflicted there. But Usher's in Vegas, like he's on the strip.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense. You're out. You were
Now-
just singing "Burn."
I like Usher. I like Usher a lot. I just don't know if I need to see a washed up pop star on the stage.
But how about
washed
Wait,
up.
what?
God, that is a
that's-
low blow.
When is the last time Usher had a hit?
I don't know.
2012?
Hold on.
He's got a new song out called "Good Good."
When was the last time the dance floor wasn't full when you hear "Take That, Rewind It Back"? Lil Jon got the beats that make the booty go.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying, when,
Dude, I mean, my feet are moving
Yeah.
already.
I'll tell you, you know who would have been great? Post Malone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Post Malone would have been cool.
Yes, Post Malone would have been
Okay.
awesome.
Post Malone would have
Except
been
for all
cool.
the grandmas who were like, "Oh, he has tattoos on his face." No.
You are such a millennial.
He
You know
is.
what we need is like this
Wow.
guy is really into his feels and like looks unshowered and loves like a cold game of beer pong before hitting the stage. You know what? I bet he plays dice. In fact, I'm gonna DM him and I'm gonna ask him, "Hey, Posky, want to play dice with me and my boys?"
He plays way nerdier stuff than I think he's like a Dungeons and Dragons guy.
You know what would really fire you up at the Super Bowl? Listen, just hear me out. Ed Sheeran by himself, acoustic guitar. Just a real soft acoustic
I would have
set
been
for
way out on
12
that
minutes.
too. Like, I don't know necessarily what I would have been in on, but it wouldn't have been AC/DC. I'm more happy that Usher's doing it than AC/DC.
What?
Because then it would
What?
just be the geriatric ward.
Oh,
Well,
God.
no,
I'm
no,
going
no,
to,
no,
I'm
no.
going
They
to come
rock.
through that glass.
They rock. AC/DC
Are you
rocks.
kidding me? Can
and
you
they
imagine?
also roll
Yeah.
wheelchairs because they have a lot of handicap parking. You got to get everybody in safely and then exiting safely.
we also-
Can you imagine
Rich, we went over.
AC/DC?
You were a millennial too. You're not allowed to talk crap about other people being millennials.
I mean, I say like I'm a self-hating millennial.
Travis is the only one here who can talk
Hold
about AC/DC or Usher. Hell, one of
AC/DC.
Travis's babies was made listening to Usher. I can almost
Oh,
promise
there's
you that.
no question
I
about that.
tried to name my first kid Usher, and Sarah was like, no.
Put the kibosh on
Yeah.
that.
But can you imagine AC/DC for those about to rock and the cannons firing off? Boom! Oh my God, it would have been great. But I guess I'll stick with "Take That, Rewind It Back." Usher's got the beat that make the booty go.
Hey, you saw the promo videos? How
Oh
they-
yeah. So they put this promo video out, which Ben, I know you're looking up a song right now, but I need you to play the promo video that they dropped on X. And the promo was for some reason Kim Kardashian calling Usher. And I gotta tell you, Usher, not real kind to my girl Kim K.
Damn.
Why does Usher got to be like that to Kim K? It was kind of rude. That was rude.
TD, slow down. They took Usher's confessions video and spliced in Kim Kardashian.
I've never seen the video. Why is he so rude?
The confessions video, and she was just pretending to be on the other side of the phone call.
This really irritates the hell out of me.
So mad this morning. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to tell him.
That's really what they did?
That's what they did.
Never seen the confessions video. Listen, if Kim K calls, you are not rude to Kim K. I'm at the studio right now. Why are you calling me?
Oh, God.
Well, now I feel duped. Now I don't want Usher there. Screw you, Usher. Write letters. It says, who else is out in Vegas? Shania Twain? Give me Shania Twain. I feel like a woman.
Oh, God. Okay. Oh, actually, speaking of all these musical acts, we have pairs of tickets to see, Coldplay this Thursday at Snapdragon Stadium, Ticketmaster.com for ticket and info, but we're going to be playing That's Bunkman later on.
Oh, we are.
Get your hands on those. Or Guns N' Roses. We got a pair of tickets for Guns N' Roses at Snapdragon. That's going to be an October 1st show. You could also visit Ticketmaster.com for that.
Rich,
Yo.
why the hell are you watching the confessions video?
I can't tell you how many times
Everyone's seen the confessions video.
You have seen? No way. I've heard. Wait, is this
Part 1 and 2.
I don't. I guess I've heard this song.
You've heard the Weird
Part
Al
1 and
remix,
2.
probably.
Wait, whoa.
I can't believe
Wait,
this.
what is this? Another R. Kelly hip hop, bro? Why are there multi-parts?
Okay, we're breaking up, and we are never, ever getting back together. All right, coming up next, the Colorado Buffaloes need to get it back together because the Ducks ran roughshod over Coach Prime's team. We'll get into that coming up next. Big Rich Stadium Flat.
But I need to stop thinking, contemplating.
Hour number 2, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. This update presented by the Macy's Backstage. We'll start here in the NFL. Miami Dolphins chasing history yesterday. They become the 4th team to score 70 points in a game, the first team since 1966. Dolphins win 70-20 over the Broncos. Chiefs win big over the Bears 41-10. Cowboys get upset by the Cardinals 28-16. Chargers avoid the 0-3 pit. They beat the Vikings 28-24. Sunday Night Football, Steelers beat the Raiders 23-18, and we got a doubleheader coming up tonight. Eagles-Bucks at 4:15, Rams-Bengals at 5:15. You're going to hear that Rams-Bengals game right here on San Diego Sports 760 as the Bengals look to avoid going 0-3 on the season. In baseball, Padres win their final homestand of the year, 2-1 over the Cards, but it's just about over for those Pods. They got 6 games left, still 5 out of the final wild card spot. The Brady Hoke Coaches Show coming up at 7:30. What will you find at Macy's Backstage? Here's a hint. Fall finds for $25 and under, like sharp blazers, cozy sweaters, cargo pants, jackets, and more. Find the latest trends and new arrivals at a Macy's Backstage store near you.
Yeah! Woo! Bumping into the microphone on a Monday morning. Happy Monday morning to those who celebrate. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch with you. And it was a football weekend, man.
Whew.
Like the Padres are officially flaming out, and
There's still a chance.
yeah, with 5 games back in the wild card and a handful of games left.
6.
Is it 6?
Six
Is it
games
6
left.
total games left?
5
Yeah.
games back.
I've taken my eye off them completely.
So-
I looked at the box scores after this weekend. I'm done with them this season.
Rich, Travis, the 3 of us were together Saturday night, and we watched the season come to an end. Because in order for them to make the postseason, whatever glimmer of hope there was, whatever Fangraphs had at like 0.5% chance to make the postseason, they had to win the rest of their games. They needed help in front of them. While we were sitting at dinner on Saturday night, we watched the Padres lose to the Cardinals, and we watched teams ahead of them win, meaning that they were toast.
Yeah, it's not good there, Fletch. You're right. Look, the door is not completely closed, but I think Fangraphs beginning of last week, they had them at a 0.1% chance they could still make the playoffs. Padres start winning. It went up to 0.2. On Saturday night, it had gone up to 0.5. It was a half of 1% that they had a shot to make the postseason. After that loss, it drops back down to 0.1, essentially saying, I guess if there was a complete, just catastrophic collapse ahead of them and they could continue to win the rest of these games, that there is a possibility they're in the postseason. It's not going to happen.
Travis, here's how catastrophic it would have to be. Every team in front of them in the wild card standings would have to lose the rest of their games. The Padres would have to win the rest of their games.
Now,
spoiler alert, ain't gonna happen.
No, I agree. I completely agree. I would, if I had $1 million, I would definitely put it on that.
The only way the Padres make the postseason is if AJ Preller actually cooks up COVID 2023 and gives it to the teams ahead of them in the wild card
Might
race.
need to be COVID 2024.
Okay, yeah, he's going to have to go into the future. He's going to have to make a new coronavirus and infect the Marlins.
Yeah, or shut the season down.
No.
One of the two.
Look, it's over, and it's tough to say that because last year was so much fun.
Yep.
Last year, this time of year, last year in San Diego, it was this city is a baseball city when that team's winning. This city transforms from whatever it is, wherever people's interests are divided to, because there's so many things to do in Southern California. San Diego is a place where you have people, it's a melting pot from everywhere. So interests are torn in different directions. Somehow we all collectively make a great city, but we're just not focused on the same things, except when a team like the Padres do something so stunning and awesome and beautiful. Remember the rain game against the Dodgers, and Blink-182 is playing throughout the stadium, and the whole stadium, all of Petco Park is shouting all the small things. And it was just like, it was a microcosm of the Padres season. It was speaking to the fact that they didn't do all the small things right in the regular season. That's what led to all of this turmoil leading into the postseason. And they are doing all the small things right in the postseason. And that's the reason why we're enjoying this beautiful moment in the first place. And then comes 2023 and they just skid to a screeching halt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that was magic. It was absolutely magic. And it's one of those moments that you don't think can be written due to sports. Another item. If it's in a movie, you're like, I mean, I dig it, but it's cheesy. It was awesome. After that, it wasn't just the stadium singing all the small things. It was all the fans. I mean, we were collectively this one unit. So that's what we were hoping for again. That's what we wanted, that feeling again. It was a drug. We wanted another hit.
Unfortunately, Rich, Travis, the fans showed up this year. 3.2 million people, over 3.2 million people walked through the doors at Petco Park. And that was the final home game yesterday, so it's done.
I'll give you something from The Athletic that Jim Russell, about 11 hours, posted to his Twitter account. And obviously John and Jim are going to do the postmortem throughout the last week of the Padres season on John and Jim, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Darren Smith at noon, obviously very, very connected as a Padres insider. That's what I refer to him as. So you hear him on San Diego Sports 760. You're also going to hear the Brady Hoke Report. He's coming up very soon here at 7:30. He joins the show every single Monday morning. Win, lose, or draw. Unfortunately, this was a loss, 34-31 to the Boise State Broncos. So we'll recap that loss with Brady Hoke and look forward to the Air Force Academy, who the Aztecs face for their second road game of the season coming up this Saturday. But yeah, listen to this. So this is a quote from that The Athletic article. The title of the article is "The Disappointing Padres Drew Record Attendance in 2023." A lack of answers, this is the quote, could soon lead to the latest organizational reckoning in A.J. Preller's 9-year tenure as general manager. There has been widespread speculation that Melvin, who has a year left on his contract, the manager of the Padres, will either voluntarily leave the organization, or be fired after the season. Team officials have acknowledged that the Padres payroll, currently at a franchise record of $255 million, will likely be pared down in 2024.
Here's the biggest problem with that, Rich. If Bob Melvin voluntarily leaves this organization or is fired by A.J. Preller in the Padres front office, there's no one who will want this job. No one with cachet. No one with Bob Melvin's level of respect around baseball, which is probably who you need to come in. Like the Padres, if they don't have Bob Melvin next year, they're probably going to have Ryan Flaherty next year, who is a bench coach with the Padres, who's been on the staff for a while here. But is that the hire that's going to fix everything? I don't think it is. The hire that was going to fix everything was Bob Melvin. And you still screwed it up.
Travis, I picture you every day leaving here with one of those red auto mechanic rags hanging out of like the back pocket, like the handkerchief.
He does that. I've seen it.
That he's literally wiping grease out of his fingernails with, but also blowing his nose into it and then stuffing it back in his pocket. And he's saying things like, well, probably the carburetor. Yeah. So, Travis, if you were going to fix the Padres, how the hell do you fix the Padres?
To me, it's AJ Preller has to go. I mean, that's he's maybe a fantastic individual. He may be a great guy, but whatever his plan going forward here with the Padres isn't working, and it hasn't worked. I mean, there's been 2 winning seasons, right?
One of them was COVID.
Look, to me, that's the common denominator. You have switched out so many parts. You've switched out so many pieces. There are parts on the team that, whether you like them or not, aren't getting switched out as easy as you could, Preller. I mean, that's unfortunately, that's the reality to me, is you're going to have somebody else come in and oversee what's happening.
And Rich, for you as a former lineman, as a teammate in an NFL locker room, when you're looking around a locker room and stuff just isn't working, even though you have the collection of talent, which you had with the San Diego Chargers multiple times, but you just can't figure out how to get to the end. What does it look like as a player? Like, what do you need to happen?
I mean, you're looking for leadership. You're looking for somebody who's accountable, somebody who's good at what they're doing, somebody who is loyal to you and your other teammates that you trust. I mean, that's how this works. I mean,
that was on a team with Phillip Rivers, who is that guy.
Yep.
But the front office obviously had issues with the Chargers. We don't need to rehash any of that. But obviously there's issues here in San Diego with the Padres, and they might not have that Phillip Rivers guy.
No, look, here's the thing. And that's a great point that you make, because baseball is one of those sports where you can have one guy really last for a long time with a franchise. I mean, Fernando Tatis Jr. signed a 14-year contract. Manny Machado had been here, already 5 years, and then signed a 10-year contract. I mean, you're talking about, if they play out their contracts, guys are going to be sticking around for almost 2 decades in this city, playing for this team. Now, everybody's heard of like the ship of Theseus paradox, right? Where if you replace one board at a time on a ship while it's out at sea, it leaves from port one ship, but then you replace every single board of the boat before it returns to port. Is it the same boat or is it a new boat? Like the reality is, if that main sail is the same, like if it's Manny Machado or if it's Phillip Rivers, to use the example you just used, if you have that one mainsail where you could say, okay, that's the common denominator, that's the leader, that's where it all starts and ends for us, then it is the same boat. And you can trust in something, you can have faith in something. The problem with the Padres is none of this is homegrown. The Padres started the season, every single person on the roster was from somewhere else. Not a single player came from their farm system. They traded away the identity of this team. They traded away the farm system, and they brought in mercenaries. And you cannot have guys fighting under a banner and care about that banner unless they care about what they're fighting for.
Well, the problem there is, if that's the case, if that's what it takes to turn this ship around and become winners, there's a long time before that happens, because you have to start bringing people up. You have to start developing that culture. It doesn't just happen. You can't just flip the switch and now we have culture. Well, come on in here, boys, because we got to come to Jesus meeting out in New York. I don't think it would matter if Aaron Rodgers was still hanging around. The Jets suck. I mean, the Jets are not good. Look, I honestly don't know. That's another team that has a collection of talent, and Zach Wilson at the helm is not working, and I don't foresee it working at all. I mean, Zach Wilson to me is done. So bad that former Jets Joe Namath is out here sharing his thoughts on what should happen on Twitter, live tweeting during the game, writing, why would Zach just go down there when he could have spun out and maybe found a receiver and bought some time? Jeez. Or how about, if the ground is slippery, it's like that for both teams. It's disgusting to see us throw on short first down marker of the third. Yeah, I mean, he's just hammering the Jets. Look, and then there was a fight that broke out on the sideline. The Jets have problems, and this is one of the teams that we were looking at the start of the season as a possible Super Bowl contender. I don't even know. I mean, they need the year to end.
Yeah. The Jets, they are spiraling, and the spiral started 5 games into their season when Aaron Rodgers went down with an Achilles tear.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when the
5
spiral
plays,
started.
not 5 games.
Did I say games? I meant plays. Yeah, exactly correct. In the first quarter, the first drive for the New York Jets, their season basically ended. And now you have the Jets reaching out to people and vice versa, people reaching out to the Jets at the quarterback position, and they're turning down people and people are turning down them. It looks like it's going to be Zach Wilson for the foreseeable future.
So I'll find the audio and we can play it here, but the Robert Saleh was asked post-game if Zach Wilson was the right person for the offense, and he kind of hemmed and hawed his way through till finally he put out the point, Zach gives us the best chance to win.
Yeah.
But none of what he said sounded convincing. And how could it after you watch that performance? The play that Joe Namath was talking about where he said, why would he go down there? He wasn't sacked. He fell over. It was someone put up a tweet and said, oh, Manti Te'o's girlfriend got her first sack of the season, which is terrible.
Come on.
But it was like Casper was playing out there. Like Zach Wilson was in the pocket and just like there was pressure coming in, but no one touched him. He just went down.
Yeah. It wouldn't be the first time a Jets quarterback was seeing ghosts out there.
Sam Darnold.
Yep, exactly right. You remember that clip when they were playing against the Patriots his rookie year. Okay. Brady Hoke report coming up in just a little bit here. The coach of the Aztecs talking about the 34-31 loss against the Boise State Broncos. And then, of course, we'll look forward to the Air Force game this upcoming weekend. And speaking of college football, we're going to play 2 sound clips for you. One was before an absolute thrashing. One was after. Okay, so I'm going to set this up. Colorado ranked in the top 20. They're going to Oregon to face the Ducks. Now, the Ducks are in the top 10, and Oregon's offense is just absolutely lights out. Their defense largely untested through their couple of non-conference games that they played, but better. People are saying it's going to be a better defense. Colorado scoring points in bunches, absolutely in bunches, right? TCU, the opener, we saw what happened. That was a shootout. They win on the road at Texas Christian. They come home. They face Nebraska. They beat them. Looked like Nebraska kind of screwed it up, but okay. Then they play against CSU, Colorado State, another shootout, double overtime finish for Colorado. So that's the setting there. Again, Oregon scoring boatloads of points in non-conference, but I mean, one of them was against Portland State.
In the middle of all this for Colorado, Deion Sanders sold like $1.2 million worth of sunglasses. It becomes the most talked about college sports story on the planet.
That was 1.2 million like that first weekend.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't even know what it's up to right now, but I mean, they on purpose became a lightning rod.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Coach Prime's asking for it.
Yeah.
In fact, before this game, Coach Prime walks out with Terrell Owens. Right? I have no idea why T.O. was there, but every week it's somebody else, like Dwayne The Rock Johnson and then Lil Wayne last week. Okay, so it's Terrell Owens this week. Whatever. Okay, so Deion Prime is walking out with his team. They're on the field at Oregon in Eugene, and the Colorado Buffaloes players are stomping on the O in the middle of the field. Now, I thought this was just so stupid. It's like, yeah, we're coming in your house and we're going to smudge the paint.
Yeah, that's stupid.
It's really dumb.
Stupid.
But apparently, head coach of the Oregon Ducks, Dan Lanning, took a special amount of umbrage with this. Here was his pregame comments.
Great speech. Yeah. Great, nicely done. I mean, just all the same thing that Coach Prime is doing over in Colorado, building up his team. I mean, that's what Sanders had to do as well. So this is par for the course to me. I mean, great job with the speech. Look, to me, Deion Sanders doing what he's doing with this Colorado team that was terrible last year. Terrible. I mean, you are building confidence. You are building that culture that you were just talking about, Rich, that needs to be for the Padres. You are building a culture in Colorado. Some people are going to hate it. Some people are going to love it. Now, the problem with this game was Deion Sanders has a great BMW. I mean, it's a beautiful car. It's nice. It's fast. It's awesome. And then he took it out to the racetrack and went right up against a dragster and got completely smoked. You got a great car, but you just don't have the power, buddy.
So I give Oregon credit because they didn't do it, but they could have. And here's why. I'm fine with everything Deion's been doing and hyping up his players, and it seems like they love him. He loves them. I think he's a really good college football coach because that's the most important thing. It's not necessarily the wins and losses. It's fostering young children into becoming adults. I'm also fine if Oregon would have ran up that score. Like if it would have been a 70-0 game, because like if you're going to talk that big and you're going to be the talk of the town and you're going to go out there and talk crap and you're going to walk on someone's logo, you got to get ready to take it. Now, Oregon pulled off the gas and I don't understand why they did. They should have kept going.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's just to preserve bodies. The game's already won. And so you don't want to get Bo Nix hurt. You don't want to get any of your that guy Irving. You don't want to get anybody hurt. So I get it to a certain extent. And in college football, you have such a deep bench. And you got to worry about the future, that you want to get game experience, especially during blowouts. How many of those are there actually going to be this season? You don't know. But 42-6 was the final. And then, of course, we heard from Deion Sanders after the game. Coach Prime gave his post-game press conference. Here were his comments. He doesn't take
Yeah.
shots. Get the hell
Dion
outta here.
doesn't do that.
Yeah, right. Right.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Here, look, Colorado is there for all the smoke. Now, he didn't make any excuses. He talked about how good Oregon looked, how badly the Colorado Buffaloes looked. They have injuries. There's things that are wrong, but the most important thing that's wrong is they play zero defense, like absolutely zero defense. And now that they're in the teeth of the Pac-12 conference schedule, it's going to get rougher from here. They face USC next.
Part of what Coach Prime's doing over there, and I hats off to him. And maybe this isn't it. Maybe this is just me making this up as I'm looking in on the outside. But to me, he's got a team that maybe doesn't have the talent as some of these other teams out there.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the size of some of the other teams out there. But what he can do is bring this aura to the team, bring confidence to the team, which goes a long ways. I mean, right out of the gate, they were supposed to be completely blown out. They completely turned that narrative around. Now, when Sanders on the Ducks coach says,
Oh, Lanning.
sorry. Sorry, Deion Sanders. Lanning responds, he said Cinderella story's over. To me, this wasn't a Cinderella story. I mean, not yet.
They were definitely inflated. They had him at 19th in the country.
Okay,
that team is not good enough to be 19th in the country.
But I mean, Cinderella story. It's not a Cinderella story until you get to the end of this thing.
Yeah. I mean, we'll find out if the slipper fits. Again, Caleb Williams and USC next on the docket. They have to face UCLA, and we saw them up close and personal against the Aztecs. Dante Moore's an incredible quarterback. And speaking of the Aztecs, Brady Hoke. We got the Brady Hoke report. The head coach of the San Diego State Aztec football team joins us next.
We're going to talk Aztecs with Coach Brady Hoke coming up next.
This update is presented by Staples Stores. San Diego State falls to Boise State 34-31 on Friday night. Next week, they'll have Air Force coming up at 5 o'clock on Saturday. We got pregame coverage beginning right here on San Diego Sports 760 at 3 o'clock. In the NFL, Dolphins were chasing history yesterday to become the fourth team to score 70 points in a game, the first team since 1966. Dolphins win 70-20 over the Broncos. Chiefs win big over the Bears 41-10. Cowboys get upset by the Cardinals 28-16. Chargers fall to beat the Vikings 28-24. And then on Sunday Night Football, the Steelers took down the Raiders 23-18. Coming up tonight, doubleheader on Monday Night Football, Eagles-Bucks at 4:15, Rams-Bengals at 5:15. You're going to hear Rams and Bengals right here on San Diego Sports 760. And in baseball, the Padres win their final homestand of the year, 2-1 over the Cardinals, but it's just about over for those Pods. They got 6 games left, 5 games out of the final wildcard spot. Head coach of the Aztecs, Brady Hoke, joins the show coming up next. At Staples, you can count on every print project being perfect. Right now, get $50 off your print order of $150 or more. Offer ends 10/14. Exclusions and restrictions do apply. See an associate or visit staples.com/print for details. Perfect prints, guaranteed at Staples.
Big Rich, Cheaty, and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. Don't forget, when you're listening on the free iHeartRadio app, to hit us up on the talkback mic, lower right-hand side, little microphone there. Tap that. Send us a message. Send us a shout-out. Make fun of us. Do whatever you like, but we'd love to hear from you, and we're going to be using those here very, very shortly.
We're getting the latest Aztecs news from the man in charge. This is the Brady Hoke Report, driven by the San Diego Toyota dealers. If you're looking for a great deal on a new Toyota, make sure to visit Toyota.com. There you can check out all the latest offers and search inventory. We make it easy.
Head coach Brady Hoke of the San Diego State Aztecs joining the show right now. And we do this every single Monday morning at 7:30, regardless of the circumstances. Brady Hoke, he will toll the bell. Is that accurate? Is that how you say it? Either way. Look, the point is Friday Night Football, a loss to Boise State, the Broncos coach 34-31 final. We'll get to all that in a second, and we'll look ahead to Air Force Academy. But how you doing this morning, Coach?
Well, there's some good Monday mornings, and there's some that aren't so good, and this kind of goes in that category. But having some time to look at it, we have a great group of young guys and young men. They're playing hard, and they're giving great effort and finishing. We're seeing improvements each week. We talked earlier that we were young in some areas, but there's some guys who are executing better, and they continue to get better. And we're gonna keep working this thing, and we're still in any kind of race that there is for the Mountain West. And there's no excuses. We got to continue to coach better, and players need to follow through on what they've been coached to do. And our expectations to win each week are high in the classroom, in practice and on game day. So we look at the tape. You know how it goes. You evaluate it. You see what we did good and what we did bad, and then get back to work.
So, Coach, we'll definitely get to the positive takeaways from the game that was against Boise State. What were some of the things you'd like to see the team clean up before this next opponent in Air Force?
Yeah, well, number one, Air Force brings a whole different dynamic offensively, as you know, with triple option, and so defensively, there's always that challenge there, and it's really a fun challenge, to be honest with you. You play tough up front, you friction some blocks, and you take your responsibility consistently, and good things can happen. And they're also playing very, very well on defense. I think they're ranked. I think they're the best defense, scoring wise in the Mountain West Conference, and so that will be something. But as things went on, we protected the passer much better. Ran the ball better after catches, and I thought our play action was good. We fumbled twice, and Jalen was trying to make a play, obviously, and kind of got turned upside down. But I think we played better offensively in a lot of the areas.
Coach, we talk about it here often on the show. Rich, who used to play professionally, obviously said, you know what, sometimes when you're getting beat, I'd rather you just beat me up. Are these close games a little tougher to swallow as a coach than the big blowouts?
Yeah, Travis, I think they are to some degree. I wouldn't want to get blown out big, obviously, but I think – the guys put so much effort into it, and one thing, we didn't tackle well the other night, and that was one of the real things defensively. We were disappointed, and it was the one negative that we really, number 2, Ashton, he was a guy tough to get down, and we just didn't tackle angles and all that the way we needed to. So we'll get back after that. I thought we'd do a good job of tackling during the week, but this guy, he was pretty good.
Coach, I thought your quarterback, Jalen Maiden, played one of his better games as an Aztecs quarterback, was able to move the ball down the field consistently, had the touchdown pass, was setting up a lot of things with his feet. And if you just look at that as a whole and you look at his numbers, 241 passing yards, extremely efficient. You think Jalen has a great game, but the 2 fumbles, you have to include those in the conversation. What did you think of your quarterback on Friday night?
Well, I think exactly what you said, Ben. I think he played a really good football game. He had 2 real big plays that he can't make, But I thought, number 1, we protected the passer better. And I thought Jalen did a nice job going from his first read to his third read. And I thought he was much more accurate. I thought we caught the ball better than we did. So I think there's some improvement there. But the 2 fumbles and if you listened after the show or after the game, the press conference, he was unbelievable. And that's what I think makes him such a really good leader. Of saying I got to play better. I can't fumble the football, and so those things that we are things that we can clean up.
Head coach of your San Diego State Aztecs football team, Brady Hoke, joins the show this morning. Looking forward to a game this upcoming weekend on the road at Colorado Springs against the Air Force Academy, and let's dive in. Talk about the Air Force Academy, who beat up on San Jose State in their conference opener. And ran the ball for 400 yards. That's what they do. It's option football. It's just, it's one of those. Here's my fear, and then I want to hear your fear about facing Air Force right now. When you have a game where you pointed it out, you're struggling tackling the ball carrier, and you're going against an option team where, all they're trying to do is outnumber you to the side they're running the football to and force you into situations where you got to make open field solo tackles. It makes me nervous. Where are your nerves right now? It's Monday, but where are they right now in terms of this game coming up this Saturday?
Well, after what you just talked about, my nerves are really bad.
I'm sorry.
Thanks, Rich. But
I'm the worst.
They're really good at what they do, and it's always a challenge. I'll be very honest with you. I love playing the academies because I think the essence of option football are something that is really, really neat. And but the physicalness of it, the fullback, and you go back, the last 3 years, and we've really, had good football games with Air Force, and coaching against Troy and that team, and the respect you have for the guys on that team. But the triple option is always a challenge, and you got to be disciplined. And I know our defensive staff will do a good job getting ready for the option.
Coach, in the world of football, the Super Bowl halftime performer was announced. Are you a big Usher fan?
Who?
Okay, good.
That's exactly the answer we thought we were going to get. Coach, man, it's great chatting with you every single week, regardless of the score of the game. Looking forward to seeing how you guys prepare and compete against Air Force, and hoping for a road win this upcoming weekend as the Aztecs head out to Colorado Springs.
Well, thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. And, it's going to be fun and be a great environment for us to play.
No question about it. There he goes, head coach Brady Hoke. And the Brady Hoke Report is driven by the San Diego County Toyota dealers. If you're looking for a great deal on a new Toyota, make sure to visit Toyota.com. There you can check out all of the latest offers and search inventory. We make it easy. Look, I mean, it's no fair dodging. We're into the conference schedule for the Aztecs, and hopefully they start piling up some wins. And like you said, Fletch, those 2 turnovers from Jalen Maiden, responsible for about 14 points. You get those points, you win the game.
Yeah, and
that's what it comes down to.
It really does. And I listened to Jalen postgame. I thought he handled the media
so good.
Fantastic. And that's what you want out of a quarterback. And he understands it as well. Like, without those 2 turnovers, well, it's a different ball game.
And that's the thing. When you're beating a team with your arm, you got to worry about interceptions. When you're beating them with your feet, you got to worry about fumbles. He's a dual threat quarterback.
It doesn't take away from the fact that without Jalen Maiden, they're not sniffing that game.
No.
Right? Like, he was really fantastic. The crazy thing for the Aztecs, they got a month until they play at home again.
Yeah.
So now they hit the road this week to go to Air Force, and then they get the bye week. Then they play Hawaii on the road, and then they come back home for Nevada all the way on October 21st.
Right.
So that's the next time they're actually home. So they got some weeks here to figure stuff out on the road.
Yep. Got to hit the ground running when they get back. And speaking of hitting the ground running, at the Good Feet store, they have these arch supports that have numerous benefits, from pain relief to better balance. I subscribe to that newsletter. I've been wearing these things in my shoes and my back feels better. I do feel better balanced also. Like when you're walking downhill or uphill, you're at theme parks with the kids, you're playing golf with your friends, you're going to the mall on the weekends, you're working out on the weekend, whatever it is, the Good Feet store arch supports, they slip into every style of footwear you have, and they help you feel better immediately. I felt it the first week I was wearing them. The back pain really melted away. And that's after playing 16 years of football, all the way from middle school through my professional career. Good Feet Arch supports precision fit to your lifestyle and your profession. So check out the Good Feet store, 200 plus locations around the U.S. and overseas, or head to goodfeet.com. And coming up next.
Well, hang on. We're coming up next. Let's do this right now.
What?
Let's do a little giveaway. Yes, Restaurant Week. Let's do caller number 5. Caller number 5, 844-570-1360. You're going to win yourself a $30 gift card to Prince Street Pizza to celebrate San Diego Restaurant Week. It's going on now through October 1st with over 100 of San Diego's finest dining establishments, a diverse range of cuisines from farm to table to international flavors, multi-course menus starting at just $20. Visit SanDiegoRestaurantWeek.com. But right now, like I said, call number 5. You need to get $30 to Prince Street Pizza. Love it.
All right. I love that too. Yeah, Restaurant Week. I'm excited for that. I love that in San Diego. Okay. Coming up next, they used to only kick. Now they're sacking QBs. That's next. All right, history was made, and also Bill Belichick with maybe one of the funnier responses we've heard in a long time. Wait till you hear the question he was asked. That's next. Lot to get to on this show. Guns N' Roses tickets coming up. Coldplay tickets coming up. We have all that information for you at Ticketmaster.com. You could grab tickets there as well, or just wait for your opportunity on this show to win GNR or Coldplay. Either, both are going to be given away at some point in the 8 o'clock hour. So be listening for that. Also, quick mention, and I'm going to find the name here.
The name is
of the lady who got
Haley Van Voorhis.
Yes, it's in the rundown. Haley Van Voorhis.
Voorhis. It's like Jason Voorhees from the movies. Remember?
Yeah.
He killed everybody at what was it, Lake Placid?
Yeah, that sounds right.
What's the name of the lake in the Jason movies? I'm
Don't
forgetting
think it's
now.
flaccid.
No, I said
Placid.
Lake Placid.
Okay,
hang on.
You go to.
Ben knows a lot apparently about Italy and Italians because figs are a thing. We found that out. But when it comes to geography, Ben Fletcher, he has no idea where anything is or what anything's called. It is incredible. He one time said,
"This is a fictional lake you're talking about," and you called it Lake Placid.
Placid is a real lake.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. You look it up.
No, it's not.
Look it up.
With a P?
With a P.
With a P,
Placid.
yeah.
Lake Placid. Lake Placid. Yes.
That's in New York. Why do I need to know anything about New York? It's on the other side of the country.
It's a very famous lake.
So what's the lake in the movie?
I think it's Lake Crystal or Crystal Lake, maybe. I forget. Anyways, so Jason Voorhees' sister, Haley Van Voorhees. I don't know if that's who his sister. Look, the point is, Haley Van Voorhees is a Division II college football player, and apparently plays defensive back for. I don't even know the name of the team. I've never heard of it before. She got a sack or almost a sack. She rushed the passer.
It was a hurry.
She got a hurry.
Yeah.
But she's the first non-kicker to appear in a football game at the Division II level.
Shenandoah University.
Shenandoah. Actually, I know where that is too. I think that's out in Pennsylvania.
Probably in
also.
New York.
No, it's Pennsylvania.
Next to Lake Placid.
No. That's Lake Placid. No, hang on. No.
I've never heard of Lake Placid.
Shenandoah.
No.
Shenandoah probably has a lake because it is a valley in Pennsylvania. Look it up, Shenandoah Valley. Anyways, so the point is,
Happy Valley, also in Pennsylvania. Look at that geography. Mofo.
I hate you so much. I hate you so much. We can't even talk about this.
Yes.
Okay, so she rushed the passer. I think she got a QB hurry. Is that the exact stat?
The stat is a QB hurry.
okay.
ESPN wanted everyone to know over and over again for a long time.
Yes, yeah. But I mean, really, the story is there is a female who's now playing football who's not just in the kicking position.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so historic day.
Historic day, no question. So she was on the field, but at the Chiefs game, it was the lady who was in the stands that everybody was talking about. It was Taylor Swift. She was in a suite with Mama Kelsey, watching Travis Kelsey score touchdowns.
Which, by the way, after the game, while everyone was leaving, Taylor Swift stayed behind and started cleaning up, like throwing away cups and plates, and she's putting on the show.
Get the hell out of here!
Look,
at
Mama
me,
Kelsey.
yeah.
Look how good I'll treat your boy.
Yeah, I'm wifey material.
Look, cleaning all the glasses.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Oh my God.
That's what happened.
All right. So Bill Belichick, unrelated to this story altogether, but he was doing a weekly hit on his radio show, and he was asked about Travis Kelsey and Taylor Swift. Here's what he had to say. He went to Taylor Swift when she played and was blown away. He was like, I mean, the stamina to be out there for 3 hours. Like he was scouting her. Like he had the binoculars out, like that meme from the combine where he's like eating potato chips and just looking through his binoculars. He's like, I don't know how somebody performs for 3 hours and it doesn't stop. Doesn't stop.
Rich,
Travis
Travis,
14 outfit changes.
I'm going to make a prediction here.
Yeah.
It may already have come true. We were pretty early on this story, and we were like hitting it hard last week. The
Now
world's going to
Travis
get
Kelce.
real sick of this in about 24 hours.
That's the way the world works, though.
Do you think they will, though?
Yes.
The world gets sick of it? They're going to get sick of Brad Jelena.
The football watching world is going to get real sick of this in about 24 hours. I know this because I'm already getting sick.
Look, you need to calm down.
Yeah.
And this is what's making it worse. When I have Scott Hansen on Red Zone making all the puns, when Rich Eisen's doing the NFL Network pre-show,
Man, take it off.
I can't do it. And then Rich Orberger on it.
My cardigan?
Oh my God. By the way, this is going to be the best tease we've had all show. Rich, on NBC last night, I saw a very funny clip of you.
Yeah.
Can we play that in the next hour?
Yes. Okay. So, as many who listen to this show know, Fletch, Travis, myself, we're all dieting. We're trying to do this the right way, lose a whole bunch of weight. We've been successful, but that doesn't mean that we're not hungry all the time. We're so hungry. And last night on the television show, I made mention to one of my favorite foods that I missed, and that is coming up next. You'll hear that sound. Also, we got to get back to Monday Night Football. Give you a preview there. What happened with the Chargers, the Raiders, inexplicable situational football there. The Cowboys, are they fake? We have so much to talk about, and we will. Coming up next, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch.
It's hour number 3 on Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. This update presented by the Jim Buttrell real estate team in the NFL. Miami Dolphins were chasing history yesterday. They become the 4th team to score 70 points in the game. And who'd they do it against? Travis Dale's Bronco. They win 70-20 over the Broncos. Chiefs win big over the Bears, 41-10. Bears fans in bad place right now. The Dallas Cowboys, they might be in a worse space. They got upset by the Cardinals, 28-16. Chargers avoid the 0-3 pit. They beat the Vikings 28-24, and on Sunday Night Football, Steelers took down the Raiders 23-18. Doubleheader coming up tonight, Eagles-Bucks at 4:15, Rams-Bengals at 5:15. You're going to hear that Rams-Bengals game right here on San Diego Sports 760. Aztecs fall over the weekend. They lose to Boise State. Final score was 34-31. Jalen Maiden played a hell of a game, but did have a couple of fumbles that led to big plays for Boise State. Aztecs will get Air Force this weekend at Air Force. That game will be on Saturday. In baseball, Padres win their final homestand of the year, 2-1 over the Cardinals, but it's just about over for those Padres. They got 6 games left, 5 games out of the final wild card spot. Would you like to know what your home would sell for today? Get a simple text message with your home's value by texting your address to 855-600-6000. You'll get no phone call, just a text. Jim Buttrell has the buyers. Simply text your address to 855-600-6000.
Woo! Happy Monday to those who celebrate Big Rich, TD, Fletch. We're with you all the way till 9 o'clock. And it was a jam-packed weekend. So we had Friday football with the Aztecs. Boise State conference opener, unfortunately lost 34-31. The Padres had a busy weekend at Petco Park. Their last home series, they win the series. They take 2 games from the St. Louis Cardinals and mashed them last night, 12-2 win. However, their season's over. They have 6 games left to play. They're 5 games back in the wild card chance.
It's Dennis Lynn talking about Bob Melvin might be leaving this team voluntarily. The payroll is definitely going to be cut down next year. Buckle up, boys. Off season from hell.
Voluntarily, I do believe, is a cryptic word.
Literally, it's like putting the kick me sign on somebody. It's just like, no, he was asking people to kick his ass. That's what he did.
Wouldn't you want to leave? If you were Bob Melvin, I'd want to leave.
Well, come on, they
want to leave.
They're paying him a bunch of money to do what he's done his entire life. If they didn't want him gone, Bob Melvin would be managing this team. That's the reality of the situation. Bob Melvin doesn't want to. He's a baseball man. He wants to fix this problem.
Right.
I mean, this is a team he brought to the championship series last year. He's probably sitting there thinking to himself, like, what happened this year? Like, we got to get back on track. And then all of a sudden, everybody's saying, well, Bob's obviously going.
Well, and you brought him to the championship game last year. Then you added all this talent.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit baffling.
By the way, give a quick Big Rich, TD, and Fletch round of applause before we get back to the NFL?
Yeah. Are we patting ourselves on the back?
Not to us. To Balaam Brooks, the Aztecs' true freshman wide receiver. Had his breakout game.
Man.
That was a good game.
Rich, I heard you say it on the pregame show with John and JR that you're just waiting for one of these young receivers to perk up and realize, oh, I belong here.
Yeah.
He belongs here.
Yep.
You belong with me?
Yeah.
I'm done with it. See, I'm over it now.
I'll tell you what, it sounds like a love story between you and Balaam Brooks.
I do really like Balaam Brooks. I mean, when you talk about like the measurables of a college football player,
are you ready for it?
Yes. I was talking to Paul Garrison a couple weeks ago, and he's like, the biggest issue the Aztecs are going to have with Balaam Brooks is keeping Balaam Brooks.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, dude, that's a problem with NIL. That's a problem with the transfer portal. You will develop a player you bring in from high school. You'll get him to the point where you're like, wow, now he's a talent, right? He's ready to break through for us. And then you have to guard him with all of your might from other Raider teams who are going to come in and try to steal him away from you. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Speaking of the Raiders, we'll get to them in a second. Some baffling decisions on Sunday Night Football. The Chargers also.
And if it did happen, there would be teardrops on my guitar.
See, I'm done. The Travis Kelce Taylor Swift storyline now is nauseating.
Hang on, stop.
It's nauseating.
We knew Travis was trouble when he walked in.
He is trouble. And if you say, I just got to shake that one off, I'm going to punch you in the mouth.
I wouldn't say that. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot more style. than that.
Is that a Taylor Swift
Yeah,
song?
style.
I'm not
Yeah.
familiar.
Yeah. And if you did come kick my ass, I'm sure you'd have bad karma.
Last night I was talking about tacos on NBC7. I really was. I didn't mean to talk about tacos, but you brought up the Aztecs and you said this earlier, Ben. You saw this clip. Todd Strain shared this. So he does a local slice every Sunday night on Football Night in San Diego.
Sorry, I'm sorry. When you say slice, I think pizza.
Well, so yeah, they have a food sponsor. And so we're sitting there talking Aztecs. All I can think about is food. And here's what happened.
So you said solo tacos, and then you said it again.
You said twice. You said tacos.
I try to correct myself, like, yeah, and against team like Air Force, you're gonna need to make solo open field tacos. I mean, tacos. I'm not kidding. I go to sleep and sometimes wake up upset because I was dreaming about eating. I am so fat that my brain, people go to sleep and they're like, whoa, that was a sexy dream. Like, I wake up going, my God, there was so much queso.
Carne asada everywhere. I mean, I wouldn't mind an open field taco. God,
I mean, that sounds great. Yeah, like it's just out
Can we
there.
do like a lettuce taco?
They're grazing. Just an open field taco. You got to sneak up on it.
By the way, speaking of open field and grazing, is Yellowstone back?
What do you mean?
I mean, yeah, like I thought it was back on, and now I can't find it.
So it's not. There's not new seasons. CBS is re-airing it from the first episode every Sunday night, 2 episodes at a time, which really throws off Big Brother watchers.
Got it.
Now Big Brother on Sunday gets pushed till 10 o'clock, and I'm not staying up till 10 o'clock.
Well, you can DVR it.
Yeah, I'll watch it as soon as I get home today, but it's not the same. You got to watch it live. It's reality.
You know what I was watching live?
It's not film. It's not live that you're watching.
I was watching Chargers Vikings live and I wanted to vomit. I was watching. So, okay, listen, I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't get any of it. We'll start from the top where the Vikings get the ball and they're trailing by 4 points. Okay. It's the waning moments of the fourth quarter. They get within the 5-yard line of the Los Angeles Chargers. And it looks like they're going to score, right? You would assume they would score. They don't. They had, I think, 3 attempts inside the Chargers' 5-yard line. They turn over on downs. I don't know how you don't get in. Oh, but okay. So the Chargers get the ball back. And the Chargers promptly go to third down, I want to say medium. They get it to 4th and short. So you're thinking, wow, stalled out on the drive. That's unfortunate because, again, with a 4-point lead, you're kicking the ball back to the Vikings, and now you have to rely on your defense. Not so fast. Brandon Saley says, you thought that some of my decisions last season and season before were stupid? Hold my beer. I'm going for it from my own 24-yard line, leading by 4 points. And they don't. Guess what? They don't make it.
What? Shocker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, that was dumb. That was dumb. And if the Vikings just didn't, they just didn't want to win.
No.
But did either team, I guess. Again, Justin Herbert looked phenomenal. Had another fantastic week. The guy goes completely beast mode and has a cheat code. Possibly one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks great. I mean, Tua's probably above him. And then Justin Herbert. I mean, it's crazy. But, man.
Tough to put a 1 and 2 quarterback at the top of the list. Like, Tua's up there because he's 3-0. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is 2-1.
Just looking at numbers.
He's been incredible.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel bad about for anybody who still roots for the Chargers. It's like you're seeing this all happen again and again and again, where you have a really good quarterback who is enough to put the team on his back, who is enough to force the team to win, and you still lose.
Yeah.
That's why I said in the preseason, remember we were talking about the Chargers? I said, They're a good enough team to win the Super Bowl roster-wise, and they're not going to make the playoffs.
I think he's a better quarterback than Tua Tagovailoa. I think he's more talented. You can do more with him. If he was playing for Mike McDaniels, I think, as bizarre as this sounds, the Miami Dolphins would be even better.
76 points a game.
Right. Yeah. Like, I mean, Tua is very talented. Justin Herbert's next level. Wins are not a QB stat. I've never believed in it. I never will. There's 10 other guys on the field on offense. There's 11 guys on defense. Those players have responsibility too. And also, oh, by the way, you need to have a head coach who's making good decisions. Look, what Brandon Staley did, I'm not saying they should leave him in Minnesota. They won the football game in the end. I never campaigned for somebody to lose their job. But when you play this bad of situational football for years, it's not like this is the first time where we're like, oh, geez, weird decision by Brandon Staley going for it on in his own territory late in the game when he shouldn't. This has happened before.
Yeah.
He's not learning from the mistake.
Well, it usually doesn't work. And it didn't work this time.
No,
I mean, the defense bailed him out on kind of a lucky play, if we're being quite honest here. And yeah, when you're talking about a wins and losses should not be put on the quarterback because it is the whole team. I mean, there are moments, I guess you could be like, yep, his fault. If the Chargers lose this game, it's not Justin Herbert's fault.
And Travis, the defensive discipline with this Chargers team is horrific. Some of the unnecessary roughness penalties that have gone against this team this year are just stupid. Derwin James hitting people in the head pretty much every game now. He's getting called for a penalty.
I know.
So when Brandon Staley gets hired as the defensive guru of that Rams team that won the Super Bowl, right? That's what his resume was.
Yeah, it's calling card.
And he comes in and the defense is worse than the offense. I'm thinking like, okay, then you hired the wrong guy.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what? It's starting to reveal itself as being that way. I shouldn't even say starting. Like, there's been people calling for his head. Again, I'm not sitting here starting a campaign to fire Brandon Staley. I don't think I care all that much. But what I will say is I can point out terrible situational football when I see it, and it's as plain as day. Like, during the play, I'm like, what are they doing? Oh my gosh, what are they doing? They're going for it? I'm like, oh, surely they're trying to get them to jump off sides. It's 4th and short. That's surely what they're doing. I was like, interesting decision when you're on the road and the crowd's really loud. They're probably not even using their cadence, blah, blah, blah. Weird. And then they go for it. This is a team that rushed for under 30 yards or maybe 30 yards on the nose.
And you had a quarterback over 400 yards at the time, and you decide to run it.
He had a completion percentage of 85%.
Nearly 86.
He had thrown for over 400 yards, and your choice is, you know what? Austin Eckler's out. Joshua Kelly, you've sucked today. Let's go ahead and run you right up the gut.
Gents, let's start with this San Diego Padres baseball team. Their win streak ends at 8 over the weekend. They do win again last night. Fangraphs, their playoff hopes now down to 0.1%. They are 5 games back of a postseason spot. They have 6 games left. Final home game of the series or of the season was at Petco Park yesterday. And I think we give some thank yous to Blind Burrow here, who was hosting us for every Padres home game.
Yes.
What an awesome spot the Blind Burrow is. Go check it out. Boys' favorite drink on 3. 1, 2, 3. Casa Machado. Oh, we love that spot. Aztecs,
Possibly you.
yeah. Aztecs fall to Boise State over the weekend. Jalen Maiden, I thought, was fantastic for about 98% of the game. The last 2%, unfortunately, was a couple of fumbles that really swung the tide in Boise State's direction. And then Travis's Broncos. Let's talk about them, huh, Rich? The Denver Broncos. This is Sean Payton after the game with a really heated exchange between he and a reporter. I don't know if you guys have heard this, but take a listen.
What's the question?
To the face.
That last part I didn't hear. Wait,
Historically embarrassing.
the reporter literally just was talking so he could tell him how bad he was.
Yes. Yeah.
He didn't. To Sean Payton's credit, the reporter did not have a question.
No, the reporter was being a jerk, and Sean Payton, I thought, handled it the right way. What do you want me to say? We just lost by 50 points. I have a quarterback that I don't want.
Yeah, I mean that is accurate.
I
Very much so
inherited this
accurate.
disaster. I did not build this disaster.
Well, he didn't really inherit it. I mean, he signed up for it. So they offered it to him and said, "We'll pay you handsomely," and he went, "Yeah, I'm good with that. That sounds fine."
How many millions?
Yeah,
that'll work.
That's fine. That's fine. We're gonna lose by 50. Yeah, okay, that's cool.
50. It was outrageous. Travis says, as a Denver Broncos fan, like where's the love bucket at? Like how low are we getting?
It's pretty low. I mean, it's pretty low. And look, I do love my team, and I'll always root for the team. But I'm 3 games in, going, that's done. I mean, do we need to play next week?
Travis, this might be a weird question, but why are you a Broncos fan?
Oh yeah, good question.
There's nothing in your history that you've never lived in Denver.
No. So my family, they were big Raider fans, and I thought I want to root against them. And I was like, John Elway's pretty good. He's got really big teeth.
That guy looks like a horse.
Yeah,
I like horses.
It's literally so like 4th grade. I'm like, hey, Mom, I would like a starter jacket for Christmas. And I got one.
A Denver Broncos starter jacket?
Yeah.
I had I'm pretty sure everybody had a Dallas Cowboys one at some point. I'm not even.
Not me, bro. I grew up Niners fan. We hate the Cowboys.
I wasn't even a football fan growing up. I played lacrosse growing up. Like when I started playing football, I didn't even know which way to line up for offense.
What'd you play in lacrosse?
I was a crease defenseman.
Were you like the biggest lacrosse?
I was a
bowling ball ever.
I was a very big lacrosse player.
Were you a long pole?
Oh yeah. And dude, I mean, it was bad because a lot of parents, you're closer to the field in lacrosse, or you can be. So a lot of parents got very upset because I played lacrosse just like football. And now you're playing against kids who are like 110 pounds. They're just on the lacrosse team at their school to stay in shape for like track.
Yeah.
And I am absolutely decleating guys and just talking an insane amount of stuff. Like, I mean, I was just such an angry, gigantic kid
with a stick that's 7 feet long
and just swinging it mercilessly. Like even when they went to the ground, it's like, he's already dead. Please stop. That's my son.
Yeah. Lacrosse is a pretty fun game to watch.
It was, yeah, it's fun.
But if you figure out the rules.
Yeah. There's a couple of rules you got to follow.
I think we have 3 teams officially right now that we could
Are we doing this now?
Sing some Sarah McLachlan.
It's already over?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, well, they have a 2.4% chance. Your Denver Broncos have a 2.4% chance.
That's high. That's a high percentage rate.
Let's go through
them.
Let's go through them right now.
Well, we got 3 teams. So you want all 3?
Well, no. Let's each choose one. I mean, Ben, why don't you lead us up? Just pick one of the teams and just give us a little bit of a eulogy for them.
The Chicago Bears. You were so hyped coming into this season. Justin Fields was a great fantasy football quarterback last year. Didn't translate to many wins, but man, did he put up some points. And then this year comes in, and you think that things are going to be different in Chicago, that your team is actually going to be able to compete. Aaron Rodgers is out of your division. Hell, you got a shot. They don't. They're 0-3. They're going to be tanking for Caleb.
Yeah.
Good night, Bears.
Let me go next because I think I'll let you. I know where you want to go.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, whatever. There's actually a 4th team.
There's.
Well, tonight there might be a 4th.
Well, the Vikings are 0-3.
Oh my goodness, are they?
The Panthers are 0-3.
Oh my God.
Ben
left the Vikings off. I'm sorry.
I told you, I'm sorry. A fountain of misinformation. I've said this all along.
It's fine.
I left the Vikings off.
No, it's fine. We kind of covered the Vikings.
Yeah, we did. We did a little bit. Yeah, it's Bears. Obviously, the Vikings you just mentioned, and maybe I'll start with the Vikings, and then we can cruise our way down to the Broncos. We'll leave that for Travis.
Panthers are still there too.
This is what I'll say about you, Vikings. Kirk, you just constantly disappoint everybody. I mean, you're nobody's cousin. You're everybody's uncle. You're the drunk uncle at the party who says inappropriate things because you get drunk. Normally, you're a church-going fella. You wear your collars, on your polo shirts all the way buttoned up like a creep. But nobody says anything because you're a nice guy and you say things like, "Hey, how you doing?" You're everybody's favorite neighbor. But then at the block party, you just freak out. Have a couple of Michelob Ultras, get into the bounce house with the kids. And you have a pocket knife in your pocket and it tears the bounce house and then everybody deflates and then you get scared the most. Like the 4-year-olds were handling it, but then you freak out and you tackle one of them and somebody ends up in the hospital. Like, Kirk, why do you melt down every single game? What is the matter with you, Kirk Cousins? The Vikings are doomed. The Vikings are doomed.
My Denver Broncos.
Can I read a tweet before you do your thing?
Oh, I'd love it. If
This
you
is
did.
from Queen of the North Carolina.
Okay.
Guys, it's tough being a Chargers fan, but I can't even imagine the pain Travis is feeling so far.
Lord. Got a 70
Listen,
burger hung on him.
Listen.
First time since 1966.
Here's
So bad.
Here's the good news is last season, the Denver Broncos signed Russell Wilson, and Denver Bronco fans around the world excited. We've got another future Hall of Fame quarterback. They're going to run the show. They're going to take things over. The Broncos are going to be good again. It's going to be amazing. And he sucked. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. And then this
I think
season,
you said that there was good news here.
yeah, the good news is felt like we all knew it was going to suck again this year, but we didn't realize 70 points were going to happen. Look, the Broncos are committed to losing, I believe, at this point. They want that first round pick. They want to shake things up. It's bad. I mean, it's real bad. The Broncos can't score and they can't stop other teams from scoring. I don't believe that's a recipe for a winning season.
Rich, Travis, have you guys ever gone to the store and bought something you were really excited about, and then you get home and it's really disappointing?
Yeah.
Is that what the Walton family's feeling right
Yes.
now?
Wow.
Because they just bought the Broncos, and they just got a historic, dominating effort from the Miami Dolphins against them.
Well, you're going to do what the Walton family does at Walmart. They're going to put them on an end cap of one of the aisles, and they're going to say, Russell Wilson for sale. As long as you buy the rest of the Broncos with him.
Yes, we are rolling back prices on the Denver Broncos.
Can I buy it on layaway?
Yeah.
Oh, you're damn right.
You can.
And on your way out, grab some Church's chicken. Yeah, and as far as the Carolina Panthers goes, Andy Dalton is your starting quarterback now. Good luck, Carolina.
Like, they're the most irrelevant. They're just completely irrelevant.
Oh,
right?
dude, yeah. Bryce Young is out. I mean, everybody said before the season, like, he's kind of tiny, and that offensive line's looking a little shaky in the preseason. And then immediately Bryce Young's like, oh my God, it hurts so bad. And so the red rifle went in there. And actually, against the Seahawks, Andy Dalton,
He looked pretty good.
Dude, he was balling out a little bit.
We haven't mentioned him yet, but CJ Stroud has been the best rookie quarterback by far. You know, he's like literally setting records, the best first 3 games of a rookie quarterback's career ever.
He's done great, but by far, Richardson.
He's out. He's been out for a game and a half now.
Well, yeah, but when he was in, man, well, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, I mean, I get with Ben Swain. I agree. If Richardson was in there, we would still be talking about him. But Stroud, as far as you want to talk about anonymous, the Texans this year, goodness gracious.
What was that stat? It was like over 900 yard passing, over a certain number of touchdowns, and no one else has done that through
and
3
no
games.
interceptions, by the way.
0 interceptions. That's the big part.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy what's happened with CJ Stroud and the Texans. Big win over the Jaguars. Keep your eye out, right? I mean, look, this is what happens in the National Football League. Like an Arizona Cardinals can beat an undefeated Cowboys team. It can happen. A Jaguars team with Trevor Lawrence and potential deep playoff hopes can get beat by a Houston Texans
by 20 points.
It can happen, man. This league
Yesterday
is strange.
was drunk. Yesterday
Absolutely.
really was drunk.
Good finishes too.
An update on the Jason Bourne Lake from the text line, Crystal Lake.
Oh, you mean Jason, not Jason Bourne, Jason Voorhees.
Oh, yeah, but we were talking about what was the lake in the Bourne movies, right?
Oh, no.
What?
No.
Who said that?
I don't know what we're talking about. No wonder.
I'm the one who's clueless.
No wonder I couldn't find it. Yeah.
Travis, do you have any more confessions to make?
I had no idea what that was. I was like, why would they make
He even had the headphones from like 1995.
I don't know. I have the same headphones. I wasn't looking at that. I honestly was like, why would they make Usher so rude to Kim K? It's so bizarre.
The halftime promo. And they
We
cut a
should-
bunch of different ones. They did one with Deion Sanders.
I didn't see this.
Telling Usher. They did one with Kim. There were a couple others.
The only one I
Steph
saw is
Curry.
Kim K.
Steph Curry might have done one.
We should probably look ahead to Monday Night Football.
We should do that.
Yeah.
And we will. Coming up next, the doubleheader. We'll break it down.
If you have one good thing in one hand and another good thing in the other, I have two good things. Monday Night Football doubleheader. We talk about it next.
This update is presented by the County of San Diego HHSA. We will begin in the NFL. The Miami Dolphins, 70 points over the Denver Broncos. The Dolphins win 70-20. Chiefs win big over the Bears, 41-10. Cowboys get upset by the Cardinals, 28-16. Chargers avoid going 0-3. They beat the Vikings 28-24. And on Sunday Night Football, the Steelers took down the Raiders 23-18. Doubleheader coming up tonight. Eagles-Bucks at 4:15. Rams Bengals at 5:15. You're going to hear Rams Bengals right here on San Diego Sports 760. Sticking in the NFL, a couple teams have fallen into that dreaded 0-3 hole so far this season. The Vikings, Broncos, Bears, and Panthers, historically, teams that start 0-3 have a 2.4% chance to make the postseason. In baseball, the Padres win their final homestand of the year, 2-1 over the Cardinals, but it's just about over for those Friars. They got 6 games left, 5 games out of the final wild card spot. It's flu season, which means it's time to get your flu vaccine. The flu vaccine is the best way to protect yourself. Make sure you don't miss out on fun with your loved ones. Visit san diego-county.gov/flu to find a location near you and schedule an appointment to stay safe against the flu.
Big Rich TD and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. I was wondering if that's what you said in my ear there. Yes, we do have a pair of tickets to go see Guns N' Roses. They're going to be at Snapdragon Stadium October 1st, which is this Sunday. Is that right? Yeah, it's already Sunday. October. Oh my gosh. Go to Ticketmaster.com for tickets and info, but just keep listening for your chance to win there. We'll also have a pair of tickets to go see Coldplay this Thursday night, Snapdragon Stadium. Ticketmaster.com for tickets and info there as well, or just keep listening. We will give a time, I believe, for at least one of those pairs. That way, if you're listening on the free iHeartRadio app, you have a shot at listening, but you want to make sure you have the free iHeartRadio app downloaded and listen, because take us with you wherever you go.
Yeah.
To the gym, to
Free
work.
never sounded so good.
It didn't sound so good, man. Wake up with us. Boom, right there on your phone.
I do it all the time, actually. I listen to the iHeartRadio app in the shower a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I get very bored in showers.
I personally really like John's voice while I'm showering.
I can't tell you how many times I've heard all of your voices while I'm soaping areas I don't really want to discuss any further. All right, so Monday Night Football, we got another doubleheader coming up, and I have a thought for the NFL I'll share in just a moment, but here are the teams playing. We got the Rams in Cincinnati against the Bengals, who need a win in the worst way. They're favored by 2 at home. And then the Eagles, who are favored by 5 in this matchup, heading down to Tampa Baker to take on the Buccaneers. Which is the better matchup of the two, in your opinion?
I think Tampa Baker, just him in general. Like, the other game might be better. Or no, Bucks Eagles is the better game.
Yeah, but
Tampa Baker, dude, he has been so much fun to watch early on this year. I do wonder if he's going to fall off a cliff tonight, because I think he might. And then the Rams-Bengals game, by the way, Bengals need to win, not to fall to 0-3. That's a huge storyline. You're going to hear that game right here on San Diego Sports 760, because John and Jim are lazy and only want to do their show till 5:15.
That's awesome.
They're real jerks.
Oh, yeah.
Remember when you were in afternoon? You must have loved that.
I like to talk. I mean, honestly, I was kind of bummed. I would always be like, what? Sucks.
You know, in my entire radio career being in the morning, I've never had time off due to conflict of March Madness games or Monday Night Football games, something like that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
You're playing the game right.
Yeah, you because if you want to talk, this is the time for it.
Right.
Yeah.
I think Eagles and Bucks, a much better game of the two here. I don't know if the Bucks fall apart or if Tampa Baker fall apart or fall off a cliff, but I think the Eagles start to get it right. You know, it starts to come together here in week 3.
Eagles have the ugliest 2-0 record I think I've ever seen.
Right.
Like they're just like they're still kind of discombobulated. They don't look quite right. However, you give them credit. I think they faced a tougher opening schedule than, for example, the Cowboys, who were 2-0 until they ran into the Arizona Cardinals. And so you think about that win against the Patriots in Foxborough. That's a big boy win. Jalen Hurts, I think he doesn't look as comfortable as he did last year. And maybe so he's trying to shake off some of the rust from the offseason still. This happens. I'm very curious if this is the coming out party for the Eagles offensively, because I think that's been one of the biggest concerns. And also against this Bucks offense, I'm very curious if all the pieces gel, and there's some new pieces on this Eagles defense against a pretty high-flying offense. They got Godwin, they got Evans, Baker has been dealing. That should be the better game. However, I want to turn our attention to Rams-Bengals because
Puka Nakua.
you got Puka Nakua, who is all of a sudden on everybody's fantasy team from the Rams side, right? Aaron Donald's still going off. Matthew Stafford looks good to start this season. They're not missing Cooper Kupp as much because of Nakua. But then you look at the Bengals, Joe Burrow, there's question marks all over this offense right now. What's going on in Cincy? We don't know. But right now, favored by 2 at home, the Rams, who started the season, everyone was like, oh, they're going into the tank. Like they spent all that money and spent all those draft picks. There's no way they'll be good this season. The Rams could be good this season. So that's the tail of the tape.
Right. And I mean, if I'm looking at this game, I'm feeling like the Rams get the win here. I mean, the Bengals have been kind of unraveling. It's been very odd. And Joe Burrow, that calf strain is a bigger problem than they're letting on.
Oh, yeah. I tell you, tonight's going to be really telling because this is either the Bengals kind of, no pun intended, but burrowing themselves and like kind of just being done for the season because 0-3 is a tough hole to climb out of. And if Joe Burrow can't return to form, like this is a game where I would, looking at it, expect Joe Burrow to be a stud tonight and expect the Cincinnati offense to go nuts tonight and Cincinnati to win big. But if it doesn't happen, then there are problems.
Here's the most latest update, Fletch, from Deanna Rossini, who's the lead NFL insider for The Athletic. She tweets or posts on X 37 minutes ago. QB Joe Burrow is going through a workout this morning. I'm told there's optimism he will play, and his status for tonight's game is trending in the right direction per sources. Burrow is campaigning with the coaching staff and trainers to play. However, his status is still uncertain. Now, this is on the heels of reports over the weekend, yesterday, actually, where there are people in-house with Cincinnati who do not want him to play, risking him for the rest of the season for short-term gain. And then there's obviously a camp in-house who want him to play. Joe Burrow's in that camp, obviously, and you got to figure that. Obviously, he's always going to want to go out there and fight with his guys. So, yeah, that's the question mark for me is if you start him in this game, right, and he gets hurt, and he's out for any extended amount of time, your season's over anyways. So why not give your backup a shot? And if it gets bad early, maybe you throw Joe Burrow in there to save the game. I mean, maybe that's a bad way to look at it, but I don't know. I'd almost prefer giving it a shot without him than trotting him out there if he's really not ready. But we'll see with this workout.
So, Rich, I think if the Bengals were 2-0 right now, Joe Burrow's not playing in this game no matter what. The fact of the matter is they're 0-2 right now, and they're reeling, and they are on red alert, whatever when the president of the United States puts the country on like super high alert, that's what the Bengals are right now. And so they need a win, and they need a win in the worst way. And Joe Burrow is probably the only guy in there who could let that happen. And from what I know about Joe Burrow, I know that when he's backed in the corner, he responds. And we'll see if he can do that tonight.
Well, something tells me that this calf strain is going to take more than just a week off to fix. It may take some time, and the Bengals don't have the luxury of sitting down and giving him some time without giving up the season. I mean, you're in this 0-2 hole right off the get-go. If they go down 0-3, what's the percentage rate again?
2.4%.
2.4% that you could make the playoffs at that point. And then still, if you have Burrow out again, all of a sudden week 4, you're down 0-4. I mean, the season's done.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. But what's more important, this season or the long-term health of Joe Burrow? Because remember, calf strain for Aaron Rodgers in the preseason turns into an Achilles tear. Calf strain for Kevin Durant, and he comes back and he hurries to get back into the playoffs, Achilles tear. You know, I mean, this could be one of those moments in his career where there's a lot of regret tied to the decision you make short term instead of protecting him long term.
And
I'm not
to
saying
mention,
it's a guarantee.
The
but
last 3 Monday Night Football games, there have been pretty catastrophic injuries.
Oh, yeah. Nick Chubb was last Monday night.
Nick Chubb, Aaron Rodgers, and then all the way back to last year, DeMar Hamlin.
So it's inevitable.
Monday Night Football's cursed.
Joe Burrow loses a leg tonight.
Yeah. I can't believe his foot came off. That's crazy.
Unbelievable.
With that very darkness right there, let's go to something very light, which is Joe Moon on our Talkback feature.
Okay, yes.
And this one, Rich, it is centered around you. And Joe Moon wrote a little love letter to you. Let's take a listen.
Joe Moon, you are undefeated. Joe Moon, you are undefeated up in Rich TD and Fletch.
Joe Moon, we love you.
We love you.
Yeah, I can't believe I forgot to say that right away.
geez.
We absolutely love you. Okay, if anybody else wants to join in on the fun, the talkback button, it's right next to the play button. When you download the free iHeartRadio app, you go to Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, you listen to this show, you can hold down that talkback button and say whatever you want to us.
You got 30 seconds to let it rip. Now, Joe Moon is the champ. I would like to see him dethroned.
Wow.
I want to see someone try it.
I mean,
I don't think it's possible to dethrone Joe Moon.
I mean, it would be. It's like however we're a year and a month strong. Joe Moon has been the people's champ,
right,
this whole way.
How many more doubleheader Monday nights are there?
This is the last one.
This is the last one until like the very end of the year. Don't they do some weird? They might do one at the very end of the year. I think they did last year. When college football's off, they start going Saturday, Sunday, Monday, a ton of prime time.
I don't think they double it up, but you may be right. But double headers at the start of the season has been going on for years now.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Here's my pitch to NFL, and I saved this for then. Tuesday Night Football. Give me 3 weeknights of football, NFL football, Monday night, Tuesday night, Thursday night. I mean, dude, I'd be like a pig in slop.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to handle this situation. It drives me crazy having double headers on Monday night. Speaking of driving, I want you to get in a Toyota. San Diego County Toyota dealers, they have great deals on affordable, reliable Toyotas. I want you to get to a lot right now. Look, I've been driving around in a Toyota since 2017. It's the first one I owned, and we're going to become brand specific at our household. We're looking at a new Toyota right now. We've got a people mover and a thing mover. We got the Toyota 4Runner. We got it because we have 2 little kids. We needed room for car seats. They're starting to grow up. So now we have a booster and a car seat forward facing, but there's plenty of room in the back seat to stuff a whole bunch of stuff in the trunk now. We fold down that 3rd row of seats. And we just did this yesterday. We took a big road trek up to LA. I was doing the radio show. We stopped by Grandma and Grandpa's house. And so we had all of their stuff in the back. We had the boys in the back seats, mom and dad up front in the 4Runner, and we were just cruising. But if the 4Runner's not for you, they have a whole line of SUVs, trucks, and cars that you got to check out. Also, if you're interested in going green or saving on gas, Toyota's Beyond Zero lineup of electrified vehicles is for you. Actually, my mother-in-law owns the Toyota Prius. So I was driving around in the Prius in Westwood when we were up there visiting with them. So whatever you get into, trust me, you're going to enjoy the ride with your San Diego County Toyota dealers. Get there now. Oh, and also check out Toyota.com. They have all these new cars, trucks, SUVs coming up and available, the most popular models. Check them out. Toyota, we make it easy.
All right, guys, let's sneak it in here. Huh?
That sounds good.
Yeah, you guys still listening? Because we got a pair of tickets for you to go see Coldplay this Thursday night, Snapdragon Stadium. You can go to Ticketmaster.com if you want tickets and info, or be calling number 4 right now, 844-570-1360, and you are going to Coldplay.
Underdog Fantasy is back this football season in a big way. You heard me talk about this all last football season. Underdog Fantasy is the best fantasy app, and I'll explain to you why. First of all, you can win real money, and it's completely legal in California. Here's what I do. I play their pick'em game. And so last weekend, I got a big win on a 5-player pick'em, $10, and I was able to get $100 on a 10 times multiplier. I had Daniel Jones, I had Graham Gano, the kicker for the Giants, I had Deebo Samuel, Darren Waller, Brock Purdy. All of my statistical higher or lowers they made, except for a tie on Darren Waller. So instead of the 20-time multiplier, I still got the 10-time multiplier, made away with $100. And you could too. Okay, so first and foremost, download the Underdog Fantasy app or go to underdogfantasy.com. And when you sign up with promo code XTRA. Very important, because your first deposit is going to be doubled up to $100. So if you deposit $100, you just earned $100 by signing up for Underdog Fantasy. It is that easy. You put $100 in your account, they'll give you $100. You put $50 in your account, they'll give you $50. It turns into 100, right? 25 turns into 50. You get it. You know math. I use this app every single primetime game all weekend long on Sundays. So you have to too. You must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Oh my gosh. So Coldplay tickets were won at the break, but we have Guns N' Roses tickets coming up. As a matter of fact, let's just put a time on it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Do it for the people listening on the free iHeartRadio app.
Yeah, 8:55. Call in right at 8:55. 844-570-1360. Again, that number 844-570-1360. And you could be going to see Guns N' Roses. They're coming up at Snapdragon Stadium. Going to be a fine show there. And you can win free tickets, maybe take a date, maybe Taylor Swift, if her and Travis Kelce are broken up by I guess that would be by October 1st.
It's got a few days.
We got a text earlier, and it was way too long ago, so it's buried, but it was from the 615, and I remember it said, Ben, it's time to punch both of them in the face. And it was after a long list of bad puns you guys made with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. And I'm officially out on that relationship. Find it nauseating.
I am very much in, and I don't think there was any bad puns. I think they were all good.
I liked every last one of them.
Yeah,
I hated them.
I mean, you left a blank space for them, and so we filled it up. Enchanted, I would have called them. I mean, Ben, look what you made me do.
He's just not. He doesn't care.
He doesn't care. You know what he
puns.
is? He's the anti-hero.
He really is. And on this show, there's no question about it. Hulk Hogan, he's in the news. Hulk Hogan, the Hulkster, the Hulkamaniac, the red and gold. Eat your vitamins. Say your prayers.
He found love.
Dude, he's tying the knot.
In a hopeless place?
Yeah, he just did. They just got married.
Wait, so I actually listened to a recent interview he did, which, by the way, Hulk Hogan, if you don't know the backstory, it's worth I mean, this guy, what's his name again? Terry Bollea?
Terry
Bollea, I think is his last
name's not Hulk Hogan?
It's not. It's
What?
not. His name's Terry. So he lived through wrestling, like when wrestling was still a regional sport.
Yeah.
Like you would barnstorm going from town to town and fighting, literally in certain cases, fighting the guys in the ring who are like prominent in their area. So wild stories, and then ended up getting hopelessly addicted to like fentanyl.
Yeah.
Like they were treating him with it after, I think he's had 11 back surgeries.
Yeah, he only beat the absolute hell out of himself doing wrestling. So it was, I mean, okay, is it scripted? Yes. Is it fake out there that they're throwing each other around? No. I mean, maybe the punches are fake, but yeah, they're brutal on their bodies.
Absolutely brutal. Yeah. So he came through the other side, and I forget the name of the new wifey, but they're like, they go to church together, and he's living like a very normal life.
Yeah, Sky Daily.
Yeah. Okay, so check this out. It's like Hulk Hogan and his new wife Sky Daily, like just going to Vons next year. They're like, hey brother, you're blocking the Brussels sprouts. Can you move to the left while you're bagging your celery?
What I liked about the marriage photos was, listen, I'm going to wear a tux, but also a bandana. It'll be black. It'll match the tux.
Monday Night Football, 2 games. We got one of them right here on San Diego Sports 760. That's the Rams-Bengals. It'll get going at 5:15. Let's start there. The Rams currently, as of this exact moment, are +3. They're dogs on the road in Cincy.
Yeah, I'm taking the Rams. In fact, I would take the Rams on the money line. Like I think I like the way they're playing. I think the Bengals look out of sorts. I think something's wrong with Joe Burrow. It's that calf, but he can't generate enough power in his passes. Yeah, I'm going with the Rams plus what is it? +3? +3. Yeah.
You know what? I'm all the same reasons. I'm taking the Rams.
I was going to take the Rams, but now I want to take the Bengals.
Why? Why do you like to just go against
I
the
don't
team?
trust you guys.
Oh.
I'm sticking with the Rams. All right, Eagles at Bucks. Right now, Eagles are 4.5-point favorites. Now, this is the Vegas consensus, but you can get this game up to 5.5.
Oh, wow.
But 4.5 would be consensus. Eagles favored over the Bucks. It's in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I'm taking the Eagles. I don't think we've seen their best effort. I think the Buccaneers are due to come back down to earth. Baker Mayfield makes mistakes against better defenses. He hasn't faced one yet. And I think this Eagles team is going to be a real test for him and this Bucks offense.
Yeah, I think this is the week that Eagles start to look like the Eagles of last year. Things start to turn around. Jalen Hurts going to have a game.
Tampa Baker lives forever!
Wow. We will play that coming back tomorrow.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you to head coach of the Aztecs, Brady Hoke, for jumping on with us. Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Travis. Texters, hangers, bangers, talkbackers. We love you all.
Yep. That was a hell of a show.
Go back and listen to the podcast on the free iHeartRadio app.
In an hour from now, we usually get the podcast up and loaded. And also share the link with your buddies if you like the show. We love that. And we'll see you tomorrow. The Herd's next on San Diego Sports 760.